Guys, listen up. As you get older, the best way to continue to look young, exuberant, and vibrant is to continue to take care of your skin. That's why I'm excited to have Teej Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. You heard me talk about them before, and you're going to continue to hear me talk about them because I believe in their products and the positive impact that they have on every man's life. Teej Hanley makes taking care of your skin so easy. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing that you don't. Every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. Lapeef family, I must admit, skincare wasn't always something I always focused on, but since I started using this system, I've seen improvements in the way my skin looks and feels. And you don't have to take my word for it. They have over 5,000 five-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers from around the world. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer, and a PM moisturizer. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off retail price, the ability to customize your box, pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Teej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click that first link in the description and you'll get 30% off the first box plus the free gift. Seriously, that's an amazing deal. Even though it's too early, as I often say, it's never too late. Click that link and get started today.
Yeah. You guys hear me okay?
Not okay at all.
I think you got your mic on the wrong. Check your mic input.
What about now? Can you hear me now?
Much better.
Okay. Yeah, that music was playing.
Welcome
to King Talk. We got Humble Dad, Sweeney, Shannon Rawls, San Antonio, B. Madden, Big Clout Jones, Hink in the Basement, Trev, and me, myself, and Lapeef JR. Welcome to King Talk on the Lapeef Network. How you gentlemen doing?
Cooler, man.
Blessed and highly favored, man. All good.
Man. Blessed and highly favored, man. Nothing wrong with that, man. See you out there doing your little thing, B. Madden. You got all the
man. Man, I just been gallivanting all over the world, man, and just working. So just been blessed, man. Got a good tan and stuff on the beach. Been out here just getting it in, man. Can't complain.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Shout out to the sponsor, Teej Hanley. Before we get the show started, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men, 30% off along with a free gift. Make sure you guys go ahead and get that Teej pack. The link is in the description. Let me see who we got in the chat. Let's see, Clout Jones is active in the chat, but that's every day, right? Joe Lee, I see you. Cloud, I see you. Dale Matthew. Shout out to all my green gamers in the chat. Texas girl, it's my first time seeing you. You must be new. Welcome. See, this is King talking. She's putting the green gang emojis in there. If you want to become part of Green Gang, that link is pinned to the top of the chat. That's the best way to go. Is to go green. With that being said, let's go ahead and get this show started. Well, Humble Dad. Humble, you good? Yeah, okay, man.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. Just a lot of work going on right now, bro.
I see, man. I see that chat, man. You got that executive, that first class seat, man.
That's funny.
Yeah, I know it probably about midway. He's gonna recline back a little bit, man. Feet gonna be up.
That's the goal.
Okay, I hear you.
I mean, if y'all start talking crazy, then I'll sit up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, humble. Did you go to your conference?
Some of the Sigma conference?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not an
make
active participant as much as I used to be when I was younger, man.
They have.
Oh, okay. Sean, stop. Stop.
What he say? What he do?
I think they was up in Dallas this past week.
No,
The Alphas was in
we had
Dallas.
our conference here this past week. You know what I'm saying? So,
It was the Alpha Conference in Dallas?
Yeah.
I thought where was the Sigmas at?
in Houston.
On the farm. Or
Oh, it was in Houston. Okay. All right. I knew it was
It was
somewhere.
on the farm somewhere.
Well, I know the Noobs was out there in Tampa. Shan, did you mess with that at all? You muted.
No, I didn't make it to the conclave this year.
You didn't make it? Okay. Ours
Shout
is
out to
next
the
year in
Noobs.
Tampa. Ours is next year in Tampa, so I'm gonna be out there for that.
Y'all not pulling out like they wanted us to pull out of Tampa? Like the Alphas pulled out of
Nah, we ain't pulling out like the Alphas pulled
Hey,
out.
somebody got to pull out. Somebody got to pull out, bro. Pause.
We sticking true to our commitment.
You don't look like you
as
got
men.
the shimmy shoulders, bro. You don't look
Yeah,
like
we
you got
went
the shimmy
balls deep. Balls deep in Florida, baby.
Yeah,
It was like
last time I should be in the mirror
contract.
practicing your shimmy shoulders, bro.
No,
I always thought that was an interesting dance for sure. They call it the
Hey,
shit.
bro, you can't go to the hood doing that, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't
Is it
know.
the shimmy
you
shoulders?
can. Yeah, well,
Talking about pretty on my left. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
it works for the house.
Hey,
We only there for the
look,
house.
now look,
We
B
ain't there
Madden.
for you.
Y'all got one that's questionable too, B Madden.
Who?
We ain't
The
there
one
for you.
where y'all reach through the other one's leg from the back type thing. I forgot what
We
it's
don't
called.
do that shit. No, we got the wrong fret.
No. It's Q's for sure. It's
No,
the
it's
Q's
not.
for sure.
The hell it is.
Nah, B man, I'm gonna find a video of that shit. I'm telling
You
you.
making some shit up now.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I
wouldn't
dare
do
you
that.
to find it because you making up shit
I'm
now.
gonna find it. Watch, I'm gonna find it.
Yeah,
I'll
you
send it to
doing something else. Yeah.
Hey, bro, look.
it's mad alpha chapters that be doing suspect shit too, bro. So it's probably not your chapter, but
you do not.
Be wild.
You the last fraternity that should talk.
Nah, bro.
You
hey,
are
look,
the last
I
fraternity.
could pull up a video. Shane. Where,
you are the last fraternity
where one of your bros
that should talk.
Look juicy talking about his
Humble
shoulders
Dad
like
and be
water.
mad. No, that you are the last fraternity.
Not his shoulders like water.
Hey, bro, I'm telling you, I could go in my inbox and
All
pull
right,
that
y'all,
video up.
We gotta get the show started, man. I know we're talking about Greek life, man, but Big Cloud Jones said he don't know nothing about that. So
I'm sorry. We just had a Texas Greek picnic this past weekend too in Houston. It was the biggest in the country. It was tremendous. It was probably almost like 3 times as big as it was last year. So we had people all over the country. So we all on this Greek high, conclaves, all that kind of stuff. So
ain't nothing wrong with it, man. As long as I give back to the community, that's all that matters, right?
Always.
There we go. All right, hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're gonna go ahead and get into our first topic of the night, which is: are you the type to go everywhere with your partner, or do you believe time away makes the heart grow fonder? We'll go ahead and play this clip.
One time, and someone was like, I think they referenced basically getting away from your significant other, and I was like, I don't relate, man. Like I said, it's what, 9 years. I've never been in a headspace of I need some space from you, man.
I love when men can just be fully just immersed in their woman and still maintain their masculinity. I think so many men are just afraid to just say, hey, yo, like, I love being around my woman, and I think it's powerful. I think, yo, one of the keys to like being really, really committed is to take your woman everywhere. If you have the opportunity to take your woman everywhere, take her, because you're going to learn so much about just having her there, and you guys can create that bond. I think some people just don't really enjoy their woman's company like that. That's why they're always trying to get away from them.
I don't want to shit on anyone's relationship.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, there might be some issues there, man, because you should want to have that person around. Although, like,
I still understand space.
Yeah, I do.
I still understand the idea of space.
Yeah.
I completely.
I get that.
But like, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, yo, I want my woman with me.
All right, let's go ahead and dive into it. It looks like Shan is ready. Are you the type to go everywhere with your partner, or do you believe that time away makes the heart grow fonder?
That is bad advice. That's bad advice. Let me tell you why. It's bad advice. So, first of all, we're the only generation that we are in constant connection with everybody at all times. Where's my cell phone? I don't got my cell phone with me, but my iPad is here. I can FaceTime anybody in my family anywhere in the world right now. Look at them, see what they're wearing, see what they're eating, look at how their hairstyle is. I know everything about everybody in my family. I could call my mom and see how she's doing right now. If I was in a relationship, you see your wife, you can see your girlfriend anytime. You can call her at the drop of a dime. Historically, back in the day, not too long ago, man would wake up in the morning, kiss his wife, eat some breakfast, maybe leave at 7 o'clock in the morning to get to work at 8 or 9 and not see her. Rarely even called her until he got home at night. And, you know, they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, which is actually true. But the thing is, what I've made a mistake on in my past relationships, I did business with both my wives. Now, I get it. I know the power couple thing, the power couple and be together, and Beyonce and Jay-Z and Michelle and Barack, and let's rock it out together and we everywhere. Let me tell you guys something. That is a mistake. I made a mistake. And I teach people now, you need to separate yourself so your wife has a purpose. Your wife has a goal, you have a purpose, and you guys are doing your things, not necessarily independently, but separate from each other, so you have something to talk about. I was with my wives. My first one, we opened up a shop. We opened up a barbershop of all things back in 2001. Together, inseparable, every day, 7 days a week for years. I got married again. I didn't learn the lesson then. I got married again, go through the divorce and all that, broke up, single, dating life, met a new girl, married her. We started a fashion brand in 2013. Inseparable. Every single day, all day long for years. And that became problematic because we were so entwined with each other. And I get it. Well, I want to be around my girl. See, what he's speaking on is the honeymoon stage. What he's talking about is how it feels to just have your girl around you and bouncing ideas off each other and pillow talk at night and whatnot. And hey, babe, what you think of this? And she tells you what you think, and y'all brushing teeth. And while she's sitting on the toilet taking a shit, you brushing your teeth, all in the bathroom at the same time. I did all of that, you guys, trust me. And what happens is in the long run, you end up getting sick of each other. I'm not saying that we should be away from each other, but we need to have some kind of independence on a daily basis to make ourselves grow fond of the person that we're not around. Because if you could just at the drop of a hat, have sex anyway, you're at the office, you guys open up a business together, you still open up a store or a business, let's just fuck right now. We're together 7 days a week, and then the weekends come, we're still together. So every day is a weekend with your girl because you're together all the time. Let me just keep it real. You can get sick of a motherfucker. You can get sick of her all ways around you. And if you notice that some of the best relationships is when he goes his way in the morning, she goes her way in the morning, they tap in with each other, maybe at lunchtime, maybe send a picture, tell each other a story, what happened at their office. And then they get back together at home and they collaborate and talk about their day and figure out how they can win the next day. But if you guys are together all day long and you had lunch together, you had breakfast together, you had dinner, you had snacks together, you'll get sick of each other faster than you think you will. Trust me when I tell you that. And if you think about Barack and Michelle, if you think about Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're not together all day long. She's at the studio doing her thing. Jay-Z's on tour doing his thing. Barack is off signing, being a president over here. She's off doing first lady shit over there, and they get back together. Nobody is up under each other all day. And I think that's a bad idea and bad advice that he was giving in that video.
All right, Brother Sweeney, what are your thoughts about it, sir? You heard Shan. He doesn't think y'all should be up on each other all day.
I was going to ask Shan, how long were you and your first wife together? 5 years? Okay.
Yep. Well, married 5. Married 5. We were together. We were college sweethearts. So I met her as soon as I crossed Kappa in 1997. We got married in 2003 and divorced in 2008. Okay. So we're talking an 11-year relationship. 5 of that was marriage.
Okay. In response to the video, why everybody got to make shit so goddamn awkward? I kick it with my wife when I kick it with it, and I do other things when I do other things. Now, granted, I do spend a lot of time with my wife because we do actually work together. She's a hairstylist, I'm a barber. We in the shop together all the time. But when we at home, we also do our own thing anyway, i.e., me sitting here in front of y'all guys right now. She up in the other room doing whatever the hell she doing. So we do, you know what I mean? But why do we have to make everything so? That shit was cringy. Yeah, I love to be around my wife and the stars and the moons aligned and everything. Bro, just say I kick it with my wife when I kick it with my wife. And I kick it with the fellas when I kick it with the fellas. And sometimes I like to be by myself from time to time. But we make things so goddamn cringeworthy in these conversations. Bro, it's cringy. It's not okay. You like to hang around your wife. Cool. But me and my wife are normal. We are around each other a lot, but it ain't we do it on purpose and I can't do anything without my wife. It's just the way shit wind up working out. That hey, look, we wind up doing a lot of shit together. One, because we live in a state where we moved away from a lot of family members. So we just here. So that's always been us. But outside of that, it ain't like we go out our way to be like, oh my God, I gotta be around her. She has to go everywhere with me. Just, I don't know. Shit is just kind of cringy though.
Sweetie, that was one of the smartest things you did. Let me throw this in here real quick, JR, since I went just a minute ago. Sweeney said he's in a state where they got to rely on each other. So I tell this story all the time. In the military, when you ETS, which is early termination, when you get out the Army, right, or you get out the military, they have a class for people that meet where couples got married in the military. And one of the things that the Army has suggested do based on studies that they did for decades was that if you are a soldier that is from Texas and you go to you get stationed in New York and you meet a woman who's a soldier from Florida and she goes to New York and you guys fall in love in New York. When you both get out the military, they don't want you to go to either Florida or Texas. They want you to go to Louisiana where you don't know anybody. And the reason why is because if you go to Texas, if you guys get in an argument, you're going to fall back on your family and she won't have any support. If you go to Florida, she's going to fall back on her family and you won't have any support. But if you guys go to Louisiana where you don't have any family, you fall back on each other. So the Army actually promoted. Now, I always thought that was weird. I heard this in 1994 when I got out the Army, that they were telling soldiers during our transition, if you're married, go somewhere where neither one of you guys have family. So whenever you guys get into some arguments or need to rely on somebody, you can't just call your mama, or you can't just call your cousins and your family, and your spouse don't got nobody. Instead, you guys have to rely on each other to handle situations. So that's smart that Sweeney did that with him as well.
All right. Go ahead, Trev. What are your thoughts about it, sir?
All right. So, I mean, I thought it was kind of funny that the dude that was really promoting it was looking extra feminine. It like Sweeney was saying, it was just kind of cringe to me how he articulated it. But I'd say me personally, I'm the type of dude, I've never met a human being who I would want to be around all day. I'd need my own space. I think it's important for men to actually do their own thing sometimes, women as well, but definitely for men. Sometimes you need to bond with other men. You just need to be away. You can't be in the same space the whole time. You'll drive each other crazy. But it also depends on the phase of your life that you're in, because I've seen some older couples who are inseparable, right? And that whole work thing is done. They'll be like in their 70s and they don't want to do anything else but just be around each other. And they are around each other all day, and it's okay. So it depends. Me personally, I'm not really like that. My wife, she's not really like that. But I would definitely say once you get past a certain point in your life, you build a certain bond, right? There's certain trust there, and you really can't get enough of each other. That's all. I mean, you've known them for so long, and over time you build such a trust. And this is kind of making me think, right? Because it's like, even just me saying that is having me thinking, because what's the difference between a person who gets older? Maybe they just have gotten to a certain point of development in their relationship to where they understand each other. They're beyond the point where they feel like they need to change each other, right? Your sex drives are down. You're not out here trying to chase nobody. There's so many things that happen. So it could be just a state of mind. If you match up with somebody who's really your counterpart, really that yin and that yang, it's probably possible. I don't think it's practical for most of us to really do that, but maybe once we get a little bit older, get a little more wisdom and just around that person and build that type of trust and bond, then it could work.
Hey, you know what's tripped out, Trev? This some funny shit. You know, me and my wife could sit right next to each other and work a whole Saturday, right? Sitting right next to each other. And at the end of the day, we'd be at the house. She'd still ask me, hey, how did your day go? And I would answer it as if she was not there. Like, yeah, man, the client got on my damn nerves today.
Yeah, and you know what though? Sometimes it's like just the presence too. You don't always have to interact or even talk. Just knowing the other person's there sometimes is just cool. You know what I mean? It all depends on what type of vibe you got.
All right, let me go ahead and get B Man in there. What are your thoughts about it, sir?
All right. First and foremost, I'm gonna make the disclaimer. I am not married. First off, not married, never have been married. I haven't gotten to that point. So, but if I were, I would assume that, and just knowing who I am as a person and as a man, absence makes the heart grow fonder. As somebody that travels a lot, as someone that moves around a lot, every relationship I've been in, every woman I've dated, they go nuts when I come home in a good way. I mean, they're ready to, yeah, they're ready to pound on me, jump on me. all the things, the energy, the excitement. And the thing we got to be mindful of, women love these emotional roller coasters. Oh, he's gone. I'm so upset. Oh, he's here. He's here. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. Let's do all the things. Let's go everywhere. And then it's like, oh, he's gone again. But he's coming right back. You know. I always found that as a good thing. Because what I always want to avoid and what I don't like is having that feeling with your woman that they're too regular. I don't want you to get too regular with me. I want you to be comfortable, but I don't want it to feel too regular. Because when it gets too regular, then some people start doing this. It's a little stale. It's getting a little boring. It's getting a little, you know, eh, you know. Um, I like to keep it exciting. I like to keep it fun. Granted, every day is not going to be like that, but at the same time, um, you want to have some level of excitement and something that changes it up. Because when you're around each other all day, every day, for years, like working together, having your own business, and this isn't for everybody, but shit can get real regular. And sometimes you gotta spice it up. You gotta have that pattern interrupter that comes in and it's like, oh, he's got to go on a work trip, or oh, he's going there, oh, he's gonna hang out with the guys for a little bit, or he's gonna go there. And then it's healthy for her to go with her girls. It's healthy for her to hang out with her sisters and her aunts or whoever. Like, get away, go outside, do your thing, do your girl thing, go shopping, go drink mimosas, go do what you do. Because I think it's a healthy balance for both people, because a lot of times in relationships, people start to lose themselves when they're meshing with each other so much. You gotta have a healthy balance of, you're not fully independent, you're in a relationship, but you're still a person and you're still you. And you can't lose sight of that in any way, shape, or form. And lastly, just watching the video, I mean, that's Simeon Panda on there. I like Simeon Panda. I like his work, his workouts and that kind of stuff. He has great supplements, by the way. But, kind of like what Sweeney was saying earlier, it was a little cringy when he was saying that. It was giving a little Derek Jackson-esque, when he said that. I just love being around my wife. I just want to be around her all the time. I seen your wife. Like, that Chanel Coco Brown, she fine as hell. Like, I'm sure you love being around her as much as possible. I'm sure any brother would love being around her, but at the same time, she's gorgeous and this and that, but they're still in that honeymoon phase, kind of like you were saying earlier, Shan. They're in that honeymoon phase. It's just what it is. So they work out together, they eat together, they play together, they travel together. That's great. It's wonderful. They're a cute couple. Love it for them. Black love, here for it. Keep going, black man. Do your thing. But everybody needs a breather. And I'm going to land at that.
All right, Humble Dad, what are your thoughts about it, man? Spend all the time with your lady.
I love spending time with my lady. If I take it back to my late wife, Jen, I mean, when the pandemic hit, we spent a lot of time together. I mean, before that, I worked 2 jobs and I didn't have a lot of time, you know what I'm saying? And of course, absence made the heart grow fonder. But then when the pandemic hit, I was at the house and she was at the house, and we spent a lot of time together. We took more trips than we had ever taken before. And we had dialogues that we hadn't even had before. So, but we also were friends before we got married. Now with Kendra, my current wife, I mean, we spent a lot of time together. We talked on the phone together. Talked on the phone hours at a time. I mean, but people could then say, that's the honeymoon stage. I would say that's where you're building your relationship, and seeing where it could go, and see if you can even spend a lot of time with somebody. If you can't spend time on the phone with somebody for an extended amount of time, in my opinion, then you definitely not going to really be there in person with them. Just my opinion, because you can talk a lot on the phone. You have to have a conversation if you're holding the phone, as opposed to just sitting in someone's presence. You don't really have to say much, right? And so I don't think, maybe I heard it wrong. I don't think that he was saying to be with her all the time, but when he goes somewhere, he would like for her to go. That's what I got. And I mean, it was a while. I could be wrong, but that's what I took when I first heard it. And anytime I go somewhere, I want my wife to be with me, you know. And that's just how it's always been. When I was doing concerts, I always wanted my wife to be there with me, you know. So so for me, I would say I can't say everywhere because I don't see how this for some people that's possible, but for me, the average person, that's not. But if I'm going somewhere, I want to go. And if she's going somewhere, whenever she goes out, if she goes out with her homegirl, she called me because she want me to come and hang out, you know. And I'm like, babe, that's you and your girl. And she's like, I don't care. Like, I'd rather you be there and to hang out with. And JR, you met my wife. You know what I'm saying? She cool people. So so she cool to hang out with, just period. So I landed there. I want her to go wherever I go. But of course, you know, you have to have your time away.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sean. Antonio, what are your thoughts about it, sir? Are you that type of guy?
So so all right, so generally speaking, I agree with all the guys, aside from Humble Dad, in terms of like the day-to-day, because I know he didn't speak about the day-to-day. But I heard it the same way Humble Dad heard it in terms of like going places, in terms of trips. This one NFL player, he told us that some years ago, this cat out in Jersey, he was saying the way that he keeps himself out of trouble is when he goes on those trips. Shit, instead of going and looking for women, he just takes his wife with him. And to be honest, I had to let myself entertain that perspective, because usually I'm a dude that, you know, will be going somewhere looking for women. You feel me? But once I realized, shit, just get you a bad chick. Make sure your chick bad. Make sure she's fun and things like that. And when you're going on these trips, shit, take her and smut her out. You feel me? Instead of going and doing some shit that's gonna get you in trouble. I know it sounds a little crazy, but that's, you know what I'm saying? That's the best way I could put it. So that's what I got from it, kind of what Humble Dad got from it. So yeah.
Yeah, travel with your girl. Everybody travel with your woman though. Like excursions, events, vacations. Yeah, that's what. So I got it opposite of Sean and Humble. I got it like the other brothers. He sounded like he just wanted his woman up under her all day long, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I gave the examples that I gave. Having your woman up under you all day long, it causes problems. In fact, I'm glad Humble Dad brought up the COVID. What happened in 2020? You see, our marriage and divorce rates have been declining over the years, right? It's not less people getting married and less divorces naturally, but there was a 34% spike in divorces. Even though we were steadily declining, there was a spike in divorces during 2020. Mm-hmm. And can anybody guess why that happened during 2020 when we were all locked down in the house all together?
Because y'all ain't have a good relationship with y'all wife. That's why.
I think they finally got to really understand each other and learn where each other was coming from.
A lot of people learn each other. So that means that they did it wrong early. Then that means that you was not getting to know your wife
for whatever reason. Whether it's didn't get to know them right, whether they didn't vet them right, whether I learned stuff about you that I never knew. And now that I'm around you, now that I'm locked in this house because I can't go nowhere and we're not at work all day long. Oh my God, I didn't realize you did that, or you thought like that, or the people had political differences. People had differences on taking the jab. People had differences on wearing masks. Wow, I didn't realize that you thought like that. When a lot of times when you're around somebody like that, like Humble Dad is suggesting, you learn motherfuckers and you realize, wow, who did I marry? But then at the same time, when you're around motherfuckers, you can realize, damn, who am I with? So
right.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing? It depends on how, it just depends on the perspective that you're looking at it. Is it a glass half empty or a glass half full? Nevertheless, it was a 30+% spike in people saying, I didn't know who I was married to. I got to get out of this when we all got locked down together.
Say, Shane, do you have any information to say if they gave the reasons of divorce during that time period? I would be interested.
Yeah. So it was.
I saw the statistic, but I didn't see the reason.
So the southern states had the highest divorce rate, if I recall. It was because it was an article that I read on a show. So it was the southern states had the highest divorce rates, and a lot of it was, and if I recall correctly, a lot of it was because I just grabbed the stats and threw them in my notes. I don't remember I didn't write the reasons why, but if I remember, it was southern states hit it the most, newlywed couples was hit the hardest, and people that didn't realize that political differences was one. People were like, some husbands was like, fuck that, I ain't wearing no mask. And wives was like, what are you doing? You need to wear a mask. And those internal in-home arguments caused dissension between husband and wife, which led to divorce. And you know,
anxiety.
There was some people that was on some, they treated wearing that mask like a religion, going off on people like, are you crazy? You killing your grandparents if you're not doing that. And other people like, nah, it's all a hoax. You got one dude that thinks it's a hoax, and the other guy and the woman, she thinks it's real. So it's a lot of that stuff that was going on, and a lot of political differences, and then in-home infighting. Just, you know, I didn't know that you didn't. I'm making up stuff, but whatever
voted for Trump or went for Biden
together
or
all
whatever.
the time now exasperated when they were locked down together.
But also, didn't we see a spike in marriages during that time too?
No, it wasn't a spike in marriages. It was remember, it was all of it was declining year over year, marriages and divorces, right? But the divorce rate spiked a little during the pandemic. The marriage rate continued on a steady pace, on its steady decline, but the divorce rate spiked a little higher because people start realizing, I don't really like my husband. I don't really like I'm not happy. Or he's not protecting me like I thought he would. I thought I had a man's man, but he was always at work. But now that we're here, he can't get no toilet paper. And I thought I had a husband that can go out and bring some toilet paper. And so he says he can't do nothing, and I have to do it myself. What do I need him for? It was those kind of little infighting arguments that was happening during that time.
But just to add before the others go, I would suggest that it was finances. That's what I would suggest, that the transition in during that time when people couldn't get to work.
A lot of people lost their jobs. You talking about humble?
Yeah.
And so most people were laid off.
Yeah, and so that probably created those conversations that you're talking about that escalated. That's just my thought.
Secondly, there's a few other factors. Depression spiked, anxiety spiked, any mental disorder. So now you have to interact with the person every single day, and all of those factors is just like, whoa, like it could absolutely put stress on. If you have somebody who's anxious, you're gonna have issues. Depression, that'll make you not want to be around anybody. And you feel a lot of things that you probably should have inevitably found out about, but it's just probably just process. But I think back what Humble Dad was saying, probably didn't vet properly, because some of those problems shouldn't be any political differences. A woman is supposed to understand that you leading a situation, she's supposed to ride. So it shouldn't even be that. If this is you set the precedent, and wife is supposed to follow. So that shouldn't even be a thing.
All right, let me get Cloud in there. What are your thoughts about this, sir, man? Are you that guy?
I would say, like, I lean more towards being a absence is the heart grow fonder kind of guy. Like, I think it's good to spend a lot of time with your significant other. I think it's great to make time and plan things out specifically for you two to do. But I think it's a big mistake to try to intertwine your lives completely. And I just get that from watching my parents growing up. Like, I didn't growing up, it wasn't a cell phone era. You couldn't text every 5 minutes. And I saw the benefits of, like, the excitement that I would see between my parents when they would finally see each other during the day, and not just seeing each other and being able to spend that time together, but just even having new information to share. Like, my dad was the kind of guy who during the day, he's meeting a lot of clients and stuff like that, right? So he was able to go out and discover new restaurants, new places to eat. So when he would get back with my mom or with the family, he would have the opportunity then to show us new things. And I feel like if my mom and dad were together all the time and she was by his side every day, there'd be nothing new to show her. There'd be no surprises, because every time they decide to go eat somewhere, where they're gonna go? They're gonna go somewhere that she like, So I feel like it's good to get a nice separation so that you can develop your own personal interests and develop your own character, and then you have a lot more to bring to the table with your partner. I agree with what most of the guys said, where the guy in the video, to me, he kind of sounded like a little clingy. Like, it sounded a little cringy to me. It sounded like he was trying to say, like, yo, like, I don't want to go nowhere without my wife. And I feel like that's definitely a honeymoon stage kind of thing. Like, when you got a new girlfriend or a new wife, and it's like, especially in social media era, everybody wants to have a bay moment or a couple goals moment, you know. So I feel like everybody's seeking to be like, oh, let's do this together, and let's do this together, so we could take pictures here and post these pictures, because it's all about these power couple goals and all of that. And I feel like what's really happening is like you're so close to this person, y'all end up becoming the same person. You don't have any separate interests. You don't have any new ideas. You don't have anything new to even talk about. Like, I've been in relationships where me and the girl have spent maybe like, you know, let's say we just got back from vacation or something, and after vacation we still spending time together, like maybe 2-3 days after the vacation we still hanging out. Eventually you start getting like, you know, eventually y'all just flipping through the TV, not saying nothing, y'all just napping, y'all not really doing nothing. It starts getting boring, and then once you start getting bored, that's when resentment sets in. You start looking at this other person like, damn, you know, I kind of want to go outside in the backyard and just do something, but I know if I get up to go do it, she gonna want to come with me. I kind of want to just hit my boys up and go da, but I know she gonna ask if she could come, and then the resentment starts. So without healthy separation, you get resentment that wouldn't even be there. Like meaning like you like this person, you genuinely enjoy them, but now you can't even stand them simply because you haven't been away from them in a couple of days. And I feel like that's what happened during the pandemic. I don't think it's necessary that these people didn't love their relationships or they didn't love the people that they were with. I just feel as though when you forcing people to be with each other that much, they run out of things to talk, start getting irritated with each other, and that irritation affects the relationship in a negative way. So a healthy distance always makes the heart grow fonder, for sure.
I think.
Hey, Cloud, real fast. I'm sorry, Hank. I just want to add something real fast. You got it, dog. You got it, dog. I also want to say that I don't think anybody has probably spent that much time with their significant other as we did during lockdown initially. I think very few people have spent literally that much like close quarters, 24/7, 365 time with their significant other that much before. And I think it's a lot of what Cloud just said. Like, you need a little time to breathe, you need a little time to, you know, you run out of things to talk about. That's the biggest thing. Your day don't change. Your day is the exact same day she had all day. What'd you do today? How was your day? I've been sitting next to your ass all day long, watching binging the same Netflix shows, eating the same DoorDash takeout as you have. You know, we didn't screw 2-3 times a day. I mean, what you want to talk about? The show's cool. You know, I understand, like, in some situations that, you know, you might have married your best friend. Like, she might be your best friend in the whole wide world, and y'all laugh and joke about any little thing, all things all day. That's cool, you know, but I don't think that's the majority of the people. And even with that, you still need a little space to breathe. Sorry about that, Hank. You got it, bro.
All right, I'm gonna play the clip one more time.
I think they reference basically getting away from your significant other, and I was like, I don't relate, man. Like I said, it's what, 9 years. I've never been in a headspace of I need some space from you, man.
I love when men can just be fully just immersed in their woman and still maintain their masculinity. I think so many men are just afraid to just say, hey, yo, like, I love being around my woman. And I think it's powerful. I think, yo, one of the keys to like being really, really committed is to take your woman everywhere. If you have the opportunity to take your woman everywhere, take her, because you're going to learn so much about just having her there, and you guys can create that bond. I think some people just don't really enjoy their woman's company like that.
Yep.
That's what they're always trying to get away from them.
I don't want to shit on anyone's relationship.
Yeah.
If that's the case, there might be some issues there, man, because you should want to have that person around. Although, like,
I still understand space.
Yeah, I do.
I still understand the idea of space. I completely.
I get that.
But like, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, yo, I want my woman with me.
Yeah.
All right, on you, brother. What are your thoughts about it? Are you that guy?
Yeah, as far as that guy, I'm the heart grow fonder guy, man. So, you know, I understand what he's talking about, immersing your woman. When you with your woman, you should be immersed with her. You should be with her, all up on her, and give, you know, when y'all time together. But I believe you also need some space. You understand what I'm saying? I got a boatload of fantasy football drafts coming up, and I'm not taking my goddamn woman to them, ask me 50 goddamn questions while I'm trying to draft my team. I'm not doing this. When I'm with my boys, you know what I'm saying? We get there, we want to have our conversation where it's uncut. We don't want to censor ourselves because I'm looking to the right, my lady right there, and I can't we can't have the conversation what we really want to have or what we may need to have. We can cut up. You know, we could be vulnerable with each other. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm going through some shit, man. You know, now I got to ask my lady, baby, could you excuse yourself from the room? No, I'm not doing all that. We're not doing that. So, yeah, I want you to have your time with your lady friends. Y'all get together, do y'all thing at wherever y'all going to do it. And the guys going to do our thing. We're going to go to the sports bar, watch the game, enjoy ourselves. You know, we'll come together when the Super Bowl happens. We'll go to the Super Bowl party. Baby, come to the Super Bowl party. Let's go. I watched the fight on my buddy's house. My lady's with me. That's cool. I don't have no problem with that. But there's going to be some times where I just need to go by myself. But, you know, just like this past Sunday, I went to Cracker Barrels by myself. She's like, where are you going? I'm just going to go out and get something to eat. I'm just going to chill, relax my mind, go for a walk. And then I end up going to Cracker Barrel afterwards and just chilling. You know, just had a peaceful self for myself. Just time to think myself to get my thoughts together. There's nothing wrong with that as a man. I don't see it as that. But doesn't mean I love my...
What if you would have said, Hank, I want to go. Hank, but I want to go.
I said, I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
I don't have a problem. I'll bring you something. You know, say, well, baby, what you want? I'm on my way out. You want something? No? Cool. No problem. But yeah, I don't think it's no problem at all for a man to have his own personal time, you know, to collect his thoughts and get his mind together. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. So I don't see nothing wrong with it.
So I think Shannon brought up something very interesting when he just asked Hank that, right? And it kind of alludes to what Big Cloud and everybody, and also Big Man is saying about the getting bored part. I think a lot of that, the reason why you tend to get bored is because there is a unhealthy clinginess in a relationship that a lot of people have. For example, Hank saying, "Hey, look, man, I'm about to run a IHOP and get me a Grand Slam," and she always, "Well, I want to go. You're like, damn, can I get some time?
Whoa, Sweeney, you gonna get something to eat without her? Oh, nah, bro, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. I'm going to IHOP. I'll see you later. Now, if I'm running to the stove, or if I'm running a quick errand and you grab a bite on your own and she don't know about it, that's something else. But if you like, I'm about to go to a restaurant, I'll holler at you.
I've done it.
Oh, no, Sweeney. Good luck with that one, buddy.
I've done it.
I ain't never said food, woman, and you're not invited has never worked. That equation has never worked.
He said I'll be right back, and then ended up going to Cracker Barrel. He didn't say
right, exactly.
He was smart with his shit.
Well, I wouldn't say. I'm not saying. What I'm saying is that the whole idea of him being wanting to lead a house, and then her saying, "Well, I want to go," like that's an unhealthy level of clinginess that could lead to some resentment if you find yourself in a pandemic situation and y'all stuck in a house together. Because
well, Sweeney, did you bring her back a Grand Slam too when you got home?
No.
That's trash, bro. That's trash.
No.
Oh, I'm scared of you.
But
right
in my defense, in my defense, in my defense, she's going out and got something to eat without getting me something.
What that got to do with you, bro?
I'm just saying it is. We don't. That's not a thing that we get upset about. Like, you know what I mean? So it's not a thing that happens where it's like, you know what I mean? You know, the stereotypical you without your woman.
Oh no, you held a grudge because you just said she did. I had to do it too. So
what I'm saying is that's just natural. Like we don't hold grudges like that. That's not a thing between us.
See, she's don't realize she's keeping score. Sweetie don't understand that she's writing down all these incidents and shit.
If she is, if it comes up, I'll let y'all know.
It's gonna come.
I don't think it's that bad. You just gotta, as long as she could do it too. As long as she could go out on her own and do her own thing, it's not gonna be a big deal. Because I do that. I eat on the road all day because I work outside, so it's just gonna happen. I'm gonna find new spots, and what I'll do is I'll be like, yo, I just found this joint over here. We might have to check that out later, and she can do the same thing.
Don't be trying to save him. Don't try to save him. That is not the same.
As a matter of fact,
don't throw that nigga no life.
Tried it though.
As a matter of fact, last night I had Panda Express. I came in, was like, "Oh, y'all had McDonald's." Okay, cool.
You didn't have a quarter pounder with cheese with your name on it.
Nope.
You didn't have a quarter pounder with your name on it waiting on you when you got home.
Nope.
Oh
Hey,
man,
sweetie,
y'all
at least I
different.
called. I said,
All
baby,
for
I'm
them
on
came
my
on the
way.
Y'all
weekend
real
express.
different. Y'all real
Hey,
different
sweetie, I
over
said,
there.
hey, sweetie, I said, I'm on my way home. You want anything? She
I'm
said,
looking
no.
at all
I
the
said,
red
cool.
flags already.
I'm
It's
clutching
a
my pearls.
countdown.
I'm
We're
like,
counting down. This
Sweetie ain't
nigga
giving a
walked in the house
call. Don't
ahead
ask
of
her
McDonald's and
nothing.
didn't
got
have
no
nothing
food.
for him. Didn't even tell him
Now,
they went
now,
to
Come
McDonald's. He
in,
had to.
not me coming with a bag with food, and she's sitting there like, "Hey, babe, what you got? What you got? What you got us? Oh, I guess got me some Panda Express. Got you
got
some
me
Panda
some
Express?
pennies. Now,
Not
granted, the food was
us.
gone before I got home. Now, you don't
Nah,
just come home and just sit next to him and be like, what you got going on over there? Like, it
she
was
love
already
it
done
when
before
I
we got
feed
there.
her. Now she gonna love. She love the fact that I feed her. So that's always been a love language.
But no,
So
though, but
I
seriously,
don't know.
on a more
They love
serious
when I
note,
feed them. So. Mhm.
I did want to kind of add something to the conversation a little bit, and then
Go
we can
for it, Jr. What you got?
to the next one. It says, "Are you the type of guy to go everywhere with your partner?" I don't know about y'all, but I know a lot of people not even going out with their ladies. I mean, you got to eat, so yeah, you will go out somewhere and eat with her, right? But then y'all not talking. So I'm trying to figure out a question to stir up a conversation surrounding that, because a lot of people don't even know. Like, she may be yearning to learn more about you or for you guys to interact, but you're not including her at all. So when you say, I'm gonna go get some space, I need some space to myself, she ain't getting no time at all, because y'all don't do nothing but the same stuff. It kind of goes back to what Shan was saying, like, y'all just do the same stuff every single day. Y'all go to the kids practice together, y'all grab a bite to eat, and y'all just sitting around the house, and then you say, hey, I'm about to go to Cracker Barrel and give me something to eat. But where's the interaction at all?
So Jr. So maybe proposing that, how many guys actually go out with their wife? I mean, aside from dinner and stuff, do you take your woman out like to a bar or to a lounge, or do you do those things with your woman, or do you just keep her in the house, or just keep her for dinner only? Or even proposing. Do you even? Gosh, let's stick with that. Let's stick with that.
Yeah, I mean, because some people can't afford to go out of town,
Yeah.
out of the country,
Yeah.
so they're just doing the bare minimum. And then the fact that they wasn't interacting together and being able to build a healthy relationship just off communication when pandemic hit, now they can't stand each other, because they were so used to doing their own things. They were never like interacting in the first place. And so now it forced them to be in the house, and you're looking at the same person like, damn, I didn't realize how big you were. And damn, I ain't never seen you without the makeup on. And
without the makeup on, ooh.
You're looking like Freddie.
What about do guys let their girl hang around their friends together, like let around their friend group? Because some of the guys just like to be with only their guys and hang out with their guys
From
alone.
time to time.
Do you allow your girl to come around and be around your friend group ever, or do you keep that completely separate?
From time to time, it's not like she has to be around. It's more like if the moment calls for it, if she's around, if she's around.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I like most of my friends are married, and I'm the only one that's divorced and single out of the group. So I now that I'm in a relationship again, I started to hang out with them a little bit more, because I didn't want to feel awkward like the third wheel every time they having to get together. They coupled up, but it's just me. You know what I'm saying? So I felt kind of weird. So I kind of stood back and didn't do that. But as far as what JR said, now if somebody can't afford to do things, hopefully your spouse understand. Maybe you can find things that's more reasonable and more within our price range. What we can do. We don't necessarily have to go out of the country or nothing like that. But maybe stay a night at a hotel a couple of nights, man. Just to do something, just to get away. To break the monotony. I know with my woman, I collect vinyl and I collect action figure and Funko Pops. So I introduced her to that. I took her there, went album shopping. You know what I'm saying? We just went to a convention Saturday, man. We went, and took her daughter with us. And we looking through albums, picking up albums, that I may want and get, and went to Uncle Pop store and do and stuff like that. And this coming Saturday, I'm gonna take her to a car show. I'm into old school cars. You know, I have one myself, so I'm into that. So I'm gonna take her and let her experience those things. You know, little things I like to do. I'm in a car group that I'm in, so I'm gonna make sure she gets introduced to some of the people that I'm in the car group with, and they gonna get to be introduced to her and get to, you know, do other things. Like you said, Jay, I'll just sit around going out to dinner and just watch TV. I like to go to hear live music, and so I'll take her to a live bar. Now, you know, I'm looking. I don't know how she's gonna feel about the cigar lounge. I'm thinking about taking her to, but we'll see. We'll see. We're gonna just let her experience it, and if she takes it in,
she gonna kick it. I said she gonna kick it.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, some people just don't like to smoke, so I can respect that. And you know, you got to do what you got to do. But you know, just introduce her to different things, man. There's nothing wrong with that. You should always do that.
Hey, real quick, one of y'all mentioned it, bro. I hate when you got somebody, one of your guys or your cousins or brothers, when you go to their crib and they chick is always around, bro. Because it ain't my place to be like, hey, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because if I go to Shan crib, I may want to just talk to Shan about some shit in my life. You know what I mean? That don't mean I want your girl or your wife to know, you know what I'm saying, the situation. You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily my place to be like, man, is she gonna get the fuck up out of here? You know what I mean? I'm trying not to say this, but I'm gonna say it, my cousin's wife, bro. I rock with her. But it's like you go to his crib. I hope they don't see it. You go to his crib and she don't say it there, bro. Don't say it.
I hope he don't see it.
And look, no, I rock with her. You know what I'm saying? She grew up in our neighborhood. They got married, so known her for 30-some years. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean I came to see her too every time.
Yeah,
you know
just goes to where
I need my cousin's advice or on some things. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like a brother. So it's just like, yeah, came to build with him. You know what I'm saying? You know,
that's
yeah, like it or not, men talk different when.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not the same.
And that's why I said I don't want to take my woman over my boy's house. We about to have a conversation, and I got to look over to the right and ask you to leave because we ready to have a conversation. You know, you feel kind of awkward. So,
why can't y'all just leave the room?
Bro,
no, we're not leaving nowhere. This is man hour. She got to go. You don't need to be here.
What I'm saying is, if you're not willing, if the dude is not willing to say,
the eye roll.
Yeah, that was a hard one too.
Okay, I understand y'all.
If we going to the men's house, if I'm going to my friend's house and it's not a couple thing, why does my lady need to be there with me?
I'm not talking about your lady. I was referring to Sean when he's saying his cousin. If she won't leave, then he can easily say, "Bro, let me holler at you for a moment outside."
Hey, humble bro, look, I shit you not. If we start out on his patio, he got.
Oh man, I already know.
Oh fuck, shit, God damn.
On the patio, she coming to that patio.
Oh, that's annoying as shit.
It's gonna get something to eat, bro.
Oh yeah, that's annoying.
Just go meet me at a bar. Let's get a drink, bro. Let's go smoke a cigar.
But
let's
it's
get out the house.
She got a damn tracker on his ass.
I get what Sean talking about though. She that type that'll say I want to go too.
Yes, 100%.
No,
bro.
Females think they way cooler. Females think they way cooler than they are. You know what I mean? They were like, oh.
When we going somewhere, literally, like say if it's a trip, we like, hey, are we bringing our chicks with us? Dudes gonna ask. It's common courtesy to ask. Don't just bring your chick somewhere where if it's supposed to be us 9 dudes, don't just bring your chick, G, without asking us. You know what I'm saying? Because that's
or you say, or you say,
what y'all talking about?
It's like, or she say,
what y'all talking about?
She's not coming, and then she still come anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, hell no.
Because look, that's how one of the other homies can end up getting indicted. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't brought your chick and you didn't, you know what I mean? You didn't get a green light.
Not indicted.
Sean, I ain't saying all that now. I was just saying you was just trying to do guy time.
This
you trying to do some dirt. That's a whole nother story.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying?
Chicago.
Yo, but I'm trying to do some dirt out there. You like, hey man,
I ain't even saying that. We could just be out and then chicks can come up to you. You know, that happen all the time. You know, a bunch of good looking dudes and chicks just come up and want to be friendly. Next thing you know, you indicted. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, anyway, whatever.
Go ahead,
hell. Yeah, real quick. I just wanted to say, one thing that none of us addressed in the video, which I thought stood out to me. He specifically said that taking your lady everywhere was a key to commitment. And I feel like that's kind of wild, because to me, the way I look at it is I look at a relationship kind of like it's kind of like that analogy Will Smith always talks about when he talks about building a wall. I feel like when you're trying to spend every waking moment with your woman, that's the equivalent of trying to build a wall overnight, as opposed to laying the wall brick by brick. So I feel like you can't spend every waking moment with your woman the same way you cannot build a wall overnight. You're not going to get a good wall. And even if you could build the wall overnight, that's not a key to commitment, because once the wall's built, you'll be like, oh, move on to the next wall. So I feel like really it's all about the process. It's all about laying that one brick as evenly as you possibly can in each instance and each moment, and not trying to just do it all overnight. So I just wanted to add
Hey,
that.
Cloud, I think that's a great point, but I also want to say we got to remind folks, like, how did you get your woman from the jump? Did you get your woman from being underneath her all damn day, every day? You know what I'm saying? When you gotta get up, you gotta grind, you gotta work. Nah, you all underneath it. No, I don't want to go, babe. No, I'm gonna lay up with you. No, I want to play cuddle time with you. No, like, I gotta get to work. I gotta handle my business. I'll see you when I see you. Like, and then she wants you more. Like, come on, like, every dude got their woman like in some type of way like that. Like, there's no way that you got your woman being around her every breaking moment, every moment possible, because then she'll be like, ugh, you clingy. You need purpose in your life. You need something to do. You need something to accomplish. You need goals. You don't need to be up under my titty all day.
But that's
That
why I
turned them
said
off immediately.
that's why I said that it sounds like a lot of those scenarios are unhealthy, unhealthy level of clinginess in relationship, because naturally, if most of us work, you gotta be away from each other. So the only way that you start creating those extra clingy dynamics is if you're not doing shit throughout the day other than laying up under each other. And that's what I meant, where I think that's what a lot of people during the pandemic wind up experiencing, was that they spent a lot of time at this unhealthy level of clinginess until they were forced to be around each other for real. And they was like, yeah, this ain't working. Because I was like humble dad, man. My wife did spend a lot of time with each other, but we also got out the house. We also went and did a lot of COVID traveling ourselves. So, you know what I mean? But we was also used to having a healthy time apart anyways. So.
Yeah, let me go ahead and start the transition, get to these super chats real quick. Original Everything Else, Carbon Copy, $10 says, in other countries, men have their time in those cafes. You see only men, and women have their women time. In this country, women want to be all up on men's space. We got to give each other space. And lastly, Original Carbon Copy, $2 says, folks make things so complicated, shouldn't be. Appreciate the super chat, sir. Hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and get to our next topic, which is be aware of professional daters.
Daters. And this is the woman who uses men to experience nice things and experiences. This is all she used the men for. She likes to experience the things that the city has to offer, and you typically see women like this in major cities: LA, Tampa, New York, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, Miami, cities that's moving, that got some motion. These women exist in these cities. You don't see women like this too much in like the smaller towns. So you small town guys are lucky. You don't got to worry about stuff like this. Their sole thing is they want to experience the town. They want to try the best restaurants. They want to go skydiving, and they do this on a man's dime. Now, it's a psychological thing, because not only do they want to experience the good things the city has to offer, but it feels good to them that they can get things out of a man and not give anything into return. Typically, these women are not emotionally available, and they usually fucking somebody else. And the dude that they fucking typically be in on it.
Man, he's talking about professional daters. Even named a few cities, man. I know some of you folks are in some of them cities right now. Is just a red pill talking point, Sean? Or is it some truth to what he's saying?
Yo, it's absolute truth, bro. And I got good female friends that are really attractive, that literally are like that. And they're unapologetic about it. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I ain't never been a dude. Like, I don't take women out on dates to get to know them. if we locked in, I said this before, if we locked in, then I'll take you out. But before then, I'm not taking you out on no dates. I'm not going to be the nigga that's taking you to the new steakhouse just to try to get them buns. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, nope. But I know a lot of women who do that, and a lot of dudes who are goofball Jamals who gladly are that dude that's spending the money, taking them out, and then I'm going to butter them buns at the end of the night. Thank you, sir.
All right, let me get Humble Dad in there. Professional daters. You know anything about that, Humble Dad? Have you heard of it? Have you seen it? Do you know, have you
I've heard of it.
Some of your white friends like that?
Did you say what? Say it again.
Some of your wife's friends like that?
I can't say to be for sure, but I'm sure that if they're not now, they have been at some particular point. If I had to say, but of course, I mean, I think they're very well needed, you know, especially with dudes that don't want to be married. So why does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Like if she wants to take, if you're the dude that's not worried about being married, then you shouldn't be concerned about her taking your money. I mean, that's what you're trying to do anyway. You're trying to butter them cheeks, right? That's why you're trying to be with her anyway, right? Now, if you're looking to be married, then I can see because she playing you, and that's not why you in the game. You in the game for a serious reason, which is to be married. But as it relates to, it's just the flip side of what some of the dudes are doing, right? They're trying to get the sex without having to spend the money, right? So I would say it's the same equivalent. I would say it's equivalent, and I landed there.
All right, go ahead, Big Clout.
Give me a second. Hold on. All right, cool. Y'all can hear me? Yeah. I definitely think there's professional daters out there for sure, and you know, I don't think it's necessarily something you have to be so aware of. I just feel like if you're a simp, you're going to fall to it. And if you're not a simp, you're not going to fall for it. And it's really that simple. It's like, you know, there's not really, if a woman's interested in you, she's interested in you. And if she's not, she's not. And only certain type of girls are going to have certain kind of requirements in order to just get to know them. So at the end of the day, it's like, you know, to each their own. You know, I don't think there's nothing necessarily morally wrong with being a professional dater, because like Humble Dad said, you know, I wasn't agreeing with him at first until he compared it to like how a lot of dudes is out there just trying to play girls to get the cheeks. Like everybody's trying to play somebody in the dating game sometimes to get what they want. So I don't think there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Just know what you want, and you know, if you're looking for a relationship and you're not looking to get taken advantage of, then keep your head on a swivel, and you know, don't be a simp. And that's all I could really, you know, that's all I could offer.
All right, go ahead, Sweeney.
Yeah, I was gonna say something along the lines to kind of what Big Cloud and Humble Dad said. All is fair in love and war out here. Like they both said, hey, I get it. There are a lot of chicks out there that's just trying to get experiences, but there's also on the other end of the spectrum, a lot of dudes out there that just won't ask. All is fair in love and war. So if we sit here and we watch one group of people be able to go out there and do whatever they want to do and be selfish, then on the opposite end, you have to say that it's fair for this other group to also be selfish. So you know what I mean? And I agree with Humble Dad. Now, if you're looking to be married or you're looking for a long-term relationship, like Klaus said, keep your head on a swivel. And I guess that might be the type of people that dude was speaking to, is like the kind of men that are actually looking for something serious. For example, we just seen a video where a guy got stood up. You know what I mean? He's looking for something serious. So if you that guy and you're looking for something serious, keep your head on a swivel. Understand that, hey, this is the market that you may be walking out into, and try to make the best choice for you. But hey, like I said, all is fair in love and war. Everybody's out there for self. So if one group can do it, the other group can do it.
All right, go ahead, Brother Hank.
Yeah, I ain't doing it. I'm a Starbuck her for the death, man. I'm a Starbuck her as the death. So I get what I need them goddamn 20 minutes. But look, we need them because they're teachable moments. That's exactly what they are. You know, son, don't you fall for shit like this. Don't be taking these girls out there to these nice restaurants. Why? They don't deserve that much. Now, if it's a woman you're vetting to possibly be your wife one day, man, okay, do what you need to do. But if she's just for the entertainment, then you use it as such, man. You Applebee's, Starbucks, Old Charlie, maybe you spur her to go take her to Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn, somebody like that. Now she ain't gonna get nothing extravagant. She don't deserve it. She got that's something that's earned, and you don't give that woman that off the bat. I know I wouldn't.
But hey, what did she call you cheap?
I said I'm frugal. I'm not cheap.
She call you cheap. That's a red flag. hey, Hink, hey, Hink and JR, my friend that Hink had the back and forth with. I know how the conversation with. I hope she don't see this, Ali Marie. I hope she don't see this. You know what I'm saying? So she'll call you cheap. You try to take a coffee date type thing. So just saying.
I experienced that.
So I mean cheap. You know what I'm saying? Cheap. They call you cheap, bro. Just understand what they require from you. And then if you opt into it, you can't complain. So I'm just saying, some women say they want to be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? They want princess treatment only. And if y'all with that shit, y'all with that. Not Sean.
I said you better go back to your goddamn daddy.
Hey, the term hobosexual, hobo sexual is unisex.
He'll take care of you.
All right, go ahead, Trey.
I think the dude in the video nailed it. Also, Sean nailed it for sure. I had a moment of awakening. I talked about it before, and what I've learned over time is that women purpose you, right? So she'll meet a dude that size you up and already knows what she wants to do with you. She's going to know if she wants to sleep with you. She's going to understand if you are desirable. She's going to understand if you are simp, and she's going to take advantage of it. She's going to use you for whatever she feels. Can y'all hear me? Oh, okay. No, okay, I got it. Okay. Yeah, so they understand that. Like I remember it like it was yesterday, and this was like over 20 years ago when I was in the car and I'm riding around with a chick. This was somebody that I was just, smashing, whatever. And I didn't really care about whatever else she did and vice versa. But she told me, she was like, yeah, this dude, he be giving me money. He's stupid. And I'm like, damn. It hit me hard. It hit me real hard because I'm like, damn. So this dude, I'm doing nothing. I'm putting forth no effort. All I am is like, the pipe layer at that particular point. And this dude, he's hitting her up. He's giving her his time, his resources, his energy. And she don't care nothing about the dude. And I don't do anything. And I get what I want. And he's not getting nothing. It's crazy. So women do that, right? I know women personally who will literally date 3 guys a day just to get 3 meals. I call them plate pirates. You can call them what you want, but they'll hit Tinder or whatever great dating app, and they'll be like, all right, boom, let me get with this guy, this guy, this guy. All these dudes going in there with good intentions, and the female don't care about none of that. All she knows is she's like, oh, you know what? I saw this real nice restaurant down in such and such, blah, blah, blah. And then guess what? You at the steakhouse now, your bill like $300, $400. And then she'll be like, oh, okay, give you a little hug. If you're lucky, you peck on the cheek and then go get piped down by a real one. That's just how it goes. Like these women is not playing with you, man. Yeah, the side hug. They don't care. Some of them are vicious, especially like millennials, Gen Z. They vicious, man. You got to understand that. So they have more access to men than they've ever had in their lives. They don't even have to get out of bed. Swipe, swipe, swipe. I've seen some of the messages. Females have showed me the messages. A dude who is top tier, he can be considered a 10 by women's standards, and he can't compete with the mediocre woman, period. Women wake up to hundreds of messages, men sitting there paying for it and still can't compete with the amount of action that they're getting on these apps. Instagram is now a dating app. They're getting DMs all day that they don't even open. They have way too much access for men. So if they don't really like you, they'll use you for whatever resources you're willing to give for as long as they can extract them and leave you there sitting stupid. So you just have to understand. But they are very good at recognizing who's not going to tolerate that and who doesn't have to. They know the type of dudes who getting it and they know who's not. And if they know, they'll actually compete for you with other women at the same time that they date another dude that they care nothing about. The psychology of it is just radical, but this is how women think. A lot of these modern day women are outrageous, and you have to understand what you're dealing with out here. Women have to be professional daters to survive in today's market. So you have to do the best as a man to protect yourself, to try to build discernment. It's going to take some XP. It's going to take some losses in your early years. Hopefully you got an OG that'll pull your coat and try to put you deal some of the stuff that's going on. But if you don't have that, if you don't have the father figure, right, and you're just sitting here, you're trying to watch YouTube to see why women don't respond to you, or you looking like homeboy, Johnny Loves Comedy or whatever, the dude that was talking about he got stood up on a date. I guarantee you he was like the second or third option. She went out with somebody else who she preferred first instead of meeting up with dude because he was corny, but he was a backup because she probably didn't want to get cute for nothing. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel about it. But like I said, I've talked to a lot of women who have no vested interest in me. I'm not trying to get at them. They don't want to get at me. So they tell the truth. And I've seen a lot of proof. I've seen the messages. So I know that this is actually going on. And I'll end it there.
Okay. I think something we got to pay attention to is the word professional. Typically, when you see the word professional, these type of people are pretty good. They're good at what they do. When you consider a professional in sales, you can get a call and still know what they're selling and then still wind up giving them your money. So when you're talking about a professional, it's all part of the game. If you don't want to be part of that game, then like Humble Dad say, then get married. But as long as you out here dating, it just comes with it. This is part of the game. If you're active out here dating, then it's a possibility. You just got used for a date. You could be used for your time, but not have to necessarily be a date. It could be your time. It could just be a conversation. Just needed a shoulder to lean on, just somebody to laugh with, and then they go laugh with somebody else. So I think it's all part of it. I forget which one of you guys mentioned it. You just got to be on point, but guys do it as well. It's all part of the dating thing. Everybody's doing it for a reason, looking for something, and sometimes you may get lucky. Sometimes you might be. It could be a woman that's a professional dater, and she might get lucky and find one, or you may be on a date with a professional date, and then y'all just wind up hitting it off in a different way. 6 months later, y'all married. Who knows? So I don't think we need to get hung up on whether women are trying to finesse you. If you that guy, then you're gonna do what you want to do regardless. If you want to go on a date and go have drinks, just what you're gonna do. And if you so be, I don't like the way she smells. She smelled like some incense. I have people that smell like that. You ever been around a woman and her perfume just wasn't up to par?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
They smell like Avon, the old lady perfume or something. You're like, yo.
Just an instant turn off, and you try to deal. I just can't deal with it. But it's just all part of the game, man. And like, I like the way he highlighted just something to just kind of keep in mind. But you ain't gonna be a professional. You ain't gonna be able to, not all the time. I think you ain't gonna be guys. There's plenty of guys that I'm pretty sure Andrew Tate got a few times, but everybody look up to him. You probably don't hit a lot of them stories. I don't follow him like that, but it happens to everybody. You just take it on the chin and learn and be like, oh, I got to watch out for that. But I don't think you need to be, balled up in a fetal position over it. Go ahead, B-Man. What are your thoughts?
You agree with me?
All right.
You agree with me?
You said what?
You gonna agree with me?
I agree with you. Oh, I don't know, but all I know, I agree with Trev. He went ahead and hit that thing out the ballpark for sure. Especially when he talked about seeing the messages and whatnot. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it a buck with y'all. It really, really, really pays off. You in a real beneficial position if you're in those group chats with these other fine ass women. When you're in these close friends on Instagrams and snaps and all that kind of stuff, and you see all the stories, all the things, All they're screenshotting all these lame ass dudes text messages to them. And look what this dude, he begging me to go out with him. He begging me this. Oh, he want me so bad. Oh, so-and-so just cash at me $200, $300. Well, I'm gonna get my nails done, my hair done, whatever. And not give a damn about that dude, period. They be over here like, Madden, where the party at? Hey, where you about to be at tonight? They want to know where I'm at. They want to know where the vibe is at. They don't care about that shit. They try to go and get them a nice steak dinner and then go get bent over after the club. That's what they care about. And not by that same dude. It's just what it is. Like it's either you're the player, you get played. I mean, it's just either you're what they're looking for or you're not. And by any means, anybody can get got at any moment. Any dude can get played. Any dude. I've been stood up numerous times. Me, myself, I've been stood up. It happens. Happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us. But it's rare as fuck. It don't happen like that. And the thing is, like Trevor was saying, if your choice, when you're him, they know. You know, when they have to move and compete, they have to move a certain way when it comes to dealing with you, they know. You know, they might try you a little bit and they're like, oh yeah, not him. I can't. He ain't going for it. He ain't going for it. Let me fall in line. Let me come over here. Honestly, for me personally, I would happy hour drink your ass to death. I would happy hour drink and hookah your ass to death to see if you own shit. If you own anything, that's anything I'm on. If you about anything that I give a damn about that aligns with me in any way, shape, or form, I can figure that out relatively quickly. And then I can categorize where I want to put you at that point.
Wait a minute, ain't happy hour the best time to go? Shit, the hookah lounge is fun. Shit. That's a good time waiting to happen.
See, but the thing is, in Houston, though, I mean, everywhere got hookah. So no matter where you go, you can go to a bar, you can go to a high-end restaurant, where they got hookah. Everybody got hookah. So, you know, you go and hit a little hookah, you sipping on a drink or two, you know, and it's like, I'm take care of it, pay for it, wherever. It don't matter. Be a nice lounge. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to pay to play. It's just what it is. Because a lot of these chicks, if they're really clamming and making a big deal about what type of place you're going to and the area it is and the kind of food and how expensive it is one of two things going on here. Either one, they trying to play your ass, or two, they're not sure how financially secure you are. So they're trying to fill out and see what you can afford and what you're willing to do and how generous you are with your money. That's what they're trying to figure out. They're trying to figure out, like, can you do this on the regular, or is this a once in a while kind of thing? They're trying to fill out, you know. So at that point, your status isn't defined enough for them to know kind of where you stand. I'm telling you, the best dates I've had, the best situations I've had is when the women really like you and you just get a drink or two. Conversations banging, it's great, and they'll follow you wherever you lead them to. They say, I want to get some chicken wings. I want to get some chicken wings and fries, and they like, okay, bet, I'm there. Well, what time you want me there? Or I'm gonna go to this food truck right quick. You want to come with? Sure, I love it. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Sure, like they'll be ready to go. When they don't fuck with you and they really don't like you like that, you can tell, because they're gonna give every bit of resistance possible. It's gonna be, oh, I got a headache. I gotta get my hair done. My homegirl's gonna be in town this weekend. What you talking about? We going out on Wednesday. Oh, I gotta clean up and prepare my place for when they get here, and I gotta go shopping, and I gotta go grocery shopping, and then I gotta fuck all that. If they trying to be on your program, if they trying to get with you, they trying to get with you. They gon' because the thing is that you have to be seen as a limited quantity, a limited time. Your time is limited. This is what I have. Can you fit in it or not? If you can, that's great. If you can't, I'm gonna call somebody else. I ain't worried about it. And they're like, oh shit, he's available right now. Let me see if I can move this around and I can get there. You know, it's scarcity. But if you always available, okay, you're not free Wednesday. What about Thursday? Thursday night. What about Friday? What about Friday night? Well, shit. What about brunch? What about Sunday fun day? Nah, you ain't him. You the one getting played. You the one that's gonna go Sunday fun day all damn day. You gonna take her ass to brunch. Then you gonna take her ass to lunch. Then you're gonna take her ass to dinner. Then you're gonna go pay for the bottles and the drinks. You're gonna pay for the hookahs. You're gonna pay for the entire day, and then get that side hug at the end of the night. It was fun. Thanks. Bye. Oh, I gotta get up so early in the morning. I shit you guys not. I have been out at dinner. I've been out at dinner. This dope place that got great like lobster rolls, all that kind of stuff. And I seen a chick out on a date with a dude, and he's spending big money. He's buying champagne, doing all these things. She seen me in there. First thing she's doing, she's DMing me. What you about to do after this? What you about to do? I said, look like you busy. Like, no, I'm good. What you about to do? It's just what it is. You know, you talk about, Instagram's #1 dating app. I mean, fuck Tinder. Forget all them other ones. I ain't never been on a dating app my entire life. But my ass stay on Instagram because that shit is jumping. And I'll land there.
All right. Go ahead, Sweeney. You say you want a question? Yeah, ask a question.
Yeah, I got a question for the single fellas on here. All right. So, we talk about the professional daters, right? Out of all the women you've been on a date on, what percentage of them would you argue were the professional dater type?
You mean historically? Like right now?
Just your personal experience, historically, and your own personal experience, like all the women you dated. What percentage of them would you say that you ran into was like, yeah, she the professional dating type. She ain't really here for.
I'm a slut, so I'm probably a bad percentage. It's a low percentage.
Hey, if they smash it, that means they don't fall in that category.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean,
whoa. But they still professional daters though. Just because you hit don't mean they're not professional.
No, I would argue that a professional dater does it with the intentions of giving the least amount of anything and getting the most out of it. So she's only there. So if I was to define it, she's literally only there for the experience. She don't give a damn. She don't want to deal with you. She don't care about you. All she's there for is you taking her helicopter riding and she's going home.
Those are the ones you're super thirsty over.
Percentage.
Yeah,
it's not a high percentage for me, Sweeney, but it's enough that I remember the shit. And so they mentioned LA in the video. You got scrolling, call them professional, but we call them serial daters out here. You got serial entrepreneurs, you got serial daters. And as soon as I watched the video, like three women popped up in my head that I know are friends that are serial daters. And it's funny because I was goofball Jamal 30 years ago, as Sean called him. I was literally the goofball Jamal dude. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here where I am now, trying to protect some of these dudes to avoid some of the issues. But to your question, what's the percentage? Was extremely low, but it's enough that it was like, damn, nigga got played. So the thing is that the only issue that I have is like somebody said, it's all is fair in love and war, but the war doesn't end well for women. And men looking to be married get married. Women looking to be married get lucky. And so if you're talking about me being women that's my age, that's upper 40s and the 50s, I remember when they were serial date or professional daters 30 years ago, back in the 90s. And I'm looking at them today and it didn't fare well for them. Whereas the guys that potentially got played or the guys that was kind of like fucked over or was used or whatever, it typically works out for him eventually. Something working. His happiness comes to fruition over time or later on, but hers now it's like, damn, I'm looking at him. I'm like, that's where, Kevin used to say, hey, big head. That's where the hey, big head text come. That's where that's where the girls send you guys a message. Hey, I was just thinking about you. What you doing? And it's like, what? Hold on. You wasn't sending that. You had no interest 30 years ago, 25 years ago, or 20 or 10 or 15 years ago. All of a sudden you checking for a brother now. Well, where was all them serial dating that you was doing a long time ago? How did that work out for you? And it typically don't work out for her. And so the argument today is women are saying there's no good men and all this other kind of stuff. And we're simply saying you squandered your best opportunities to go out and get a bunch of dinners when you should have been out there, using that time to find somebody that really loves you. So, Sweeney, my percentage is low, but it's enough that I'm remembering like, damn, I can't believe that I got played. I was a sucker. I was a beta male. I was, not a beta male, but I got fucking, you know, I was simping heavy, trying to get some pussy, doing shit that I shouldn't have been doing to try to get some pussy, and then knowing, and then later finding out that I'm doing all the guys that y'all talking about was me. I was a nigga at the dinner paying for all this shit, doing all this extra shit, and then finding out later that she went to go fuck that nigga that did nothing for it. So, I hope that answers your question.
Sorry, Shannon.
So, yeah, sorry, Shan. But real talk though, real talk. We've all simped. So I don't care what nobody say on this panel. You can sit there and lie and say fake whatever. I've simped. Shan simped. We've all been in a position to where we've simped. We've all been in a position to where at some point in time, your mama raised you to be super, super nice, super duper like, oh, I'm gonna open the door. Oh, I got you flowers, and you know, be the man that your mama wanted you to be, but not be the player that the woman needed. So, to be honest, but no, I think Shan hit it around the head. You know, I didn't even talk about the other wave of women that came before, you know, that's in their early 30s, mid 30s, late 30s, going into their early 40s, that are still single. No, they asses have been out here serial dating their asses off, and it hasn't fared well for them. And the funny thing about it is that their bodies aren't the same. Their body count is, through the roof. Like when they bring that check or the bill and it just keeps scrolling and going down, it's like that. And they're literally sitting around dumbfounded. They're trying to figure out, well, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get a good guy? Why can't I? It's because you was knocking down all the ball players and drug dealers all through your 20s and your early 30s that were situationships that you didn't have no real relationships. You probably at 40 years old and still ain't had no real relationship. And you still don't get it. Ass still a little fat, titty still holding up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But you're still not, I mean, you gonna get some. Niggas gonna talk to you, niggas gonna holler at you, but you're not who you were. And you still think you are in here, and you can't face facts. And you still try to go for those same guys. But those guys are curbing you now because you're not the hot shit no more. They're going for the 23-year-olds, the 25-year-olds, the ones that's hot right now. The little Ice Spices out here shaking their ass, doing their thing. They going for that. You ain't that no more. Your time is past. So you need to sit your ass down and figure out what you really want. And the funny thing is, kind of like what Kev said about, hey, big head, they go back to them dudes that they did dirty. They go back to them dudes that they played to the side and say, hey, big head, how you been? It's been a long time. I see you doing well. You looking good. I like how your beard's doing or whatever, you know, all that shit. Oh, you got the salt and pepper thing going. You looking fine. It's like, come on now. I wanted your
looking
pussy,
for that cleanup man.
15,
they want a cleanup man.
Clean up man. I wanted that pussy 10, 15 years ago. You know, about 50, 60 bodies ago. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, I'm sorry.
But keep it a bean, though, be mad. Sometimes we will retro fuck though, just on GP. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, sometimes it's like, you know what? I've been wanting to get you since I was 20. Let me go ahead and real fast and send you on your way. You're welcome.
But you know what the problem with that is?
Like,
the problem with that is females they can't distinguish the difference between sexual attention and somebody actually want to court you for a long-term relationship. It's two different things. Mm-hmm. So the girl could be all the way up in her 40s. She can have a couple kids, all that. We still gonna knock it down. It is what it is. But it's a flyby. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be anything that we're going to want to stay, right? Their job is to retain. It's our job to obtain. It's their job to retain. And they don't have that same type of retention when their body not snapping like that, when they've been through all of these different dudes and picked up all this different baggage. Now you got kids. All of these situationships did not prepare you for a long-term relationship. It prepared you for you to perpetually have more situationships. That's all that you're going to get out of it. So they don't know the difference, though. They just see a man pursuing them, and we all look the same when we approach them, right? Because we're not going to be like, oh, I'm just trying to smash. Nobody comes like that. We're always going to approach them like we really digging them and we want to hang out. I mean, if you have to, you know what I mean? But it doesn't even matter, especially if they like you. They don't even care how you coming. They just care that you're coming, and that's it. But they won't have that same type of value because, like you said, be mad. Them 23-year-olds, it's hit different now. Nothing
If they like you,
it.
they smash it. It's just what it is. They like you, they smash it.
All right. Has everybody spoke on this topic? All right, skip nobody. Guys, just tuning in. Welcome to King Talk. Make sure we get the likes up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Now, moving on to the main topic of the night, which is why independent women end up single. Why independent women end up single. I do have a video, but before I play the video, put up a couple slides. It says an incorrect assumption is that high-earning women automatically disrespect men because they are not financially dependent on them, so more likely to leave them. But here is what is actually happening. When a man has removed the duty of providing for the woman the best way he can and is reducing his usual efforts simply because he believes she is self-sufficient, she no longer sees him as having any power or dominance. Instead, he becomes an added burden. Divorce is a dynamic. It requires two people to create a dynamic that is dysfunctional. What happens to men who are with women who earn more than them, they automatically give less financial investment. They are more comfortable with allowing her to take them to the dual burden of household chores as well as financial burdens. I'm going to go ahead and play this clip, and then we can go ahead and talk about it.
Women are the devil. They're more likely to leave compared to a woman who's financially dependent on a man. So those things I'm not saying are not true. Here's the part of the puzzle they miss. A lot of men, what they do is they take their foot off the pedal when they're with a high-earning woman. If, because she's earning, you are now not investing in her, but that same man would go to another broke woman and give her the world, then she's getting a low end of the deal. Like usually women still take majority of domestic chores, especially when it comes to children. She's going to have a dual burden. The woman that's a good woman who's earning and doing her own things and looking after you, she doesn't ask, but doesn't mean she doesn't deserve you. But if you maintain your masculinity and you maintain the same level of treatment you would give her if she was broke, rather than relying on her income, you can maintain that relationship really well. But men treat women who earn better as men. They treat them like men. Treat a woman like a man, she sees you like a girl. She will no longer be sexually interested in you.
I'm just going to run it back one more time.
Woman who's financially high-earning women are the devil. They're more likely to leave compared to a woman who's financially dependent on a man. So those things I'm not saying are not true. Here's the part of the puzzle they miss. A lot of men, what they do is they take their foot off the pedal when they're with a high-earning woman. If, because she's earning, you are now not investing in her, but that same man would go to another broke woman and give her the world, then she's getting a low end of the deal. Like usually women still take majority of domestic chores, especially when it comes to children. She's going to have a dual burden. The woman that's a good woman who's earning and doing her own things and looking after you, she doesn't ask, but doesn't mean she doesn't deserve you. But if you maintain your masculinity and you maintain the same level of treatment you would give her if she was broke, rather than relying on her income, you can maintain that relationship really well. But men treat women who earn better as men. They treat them like men. Treat a woman like a man, she sees you like a girl. She will no longer be sexually interested in you.
What the fuck is this woman talking about?
Whoever wrote that meme, it was a woman, guaranteed, and this woman is on one. She's tripping. I hate when people bring up discussions and talk about 0.05% of a pool. Broke women don't even look. Rich women don't even look broke men's way. That right there just negates the whole conversation. So she's just talking just to be talking. But I'll let y'all got it. Y'all,
I don't necessarily agree with that, Shannon.
Remember. Go ahead.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I kind of understand where she's coming from, and why I understand where she's coming from is because I've seen growing up, I've seen a lot of situations, even in my family, with men being married to women that make more money than them, and I've dated women that have made more money than me, and it's never actually been a problem in the relationships where I've dated the woman, because whether you're making more bread than me or not, I'm still gonna treat you like a woman. You know what I mean? I'm still gonna treat you like a lady. And so when you're with me, you're gonna feel like a lady. I just feel as though So I get her point to an extent, right? Because a lot of dudes, and granted, a lot of women are acting like men, right? So if you're around a woman who's very independent and she's like a man, it's very easy for you to not see her in that feminine way, and then very easy for you to neglect treating her in a certain feminine way, right? And so I could see how a woman in that position might not be getting treated in a feminine way, and therefore she doesn't feel feminine and doesn't reciprocate that same femininity. So I can kind of understand what she's talking about in that regard. Like, we always like to say that, you know, women don't look like a dude who makes less than them way, but that is not a fact. Like, I keep hearing that in like on the YouTube talking spaces, but that's the farthest thing from the truth. Like, that is not true. Like, if a woman like you, it don't matter if you're making more money, it don't matter if you're making less money. If she likes you, and that's just what it is. And I feel like a lot of what's going to determine if she likes you is you making her feel like a woman, whatever that might be for that woman, right? Some women, what makes them feel like a lady is having someone fit the bill. For some women, it's not like that. For some women, it's just all about, hey, are you listening to me? Are you attentive to my emotions? Are you attentive to my feelings? Are you showing me affection? Are you giving me your time? Like I've literally had conversations like this with women who are earning more than me, and they've literally said to me like, yo, I've dated guys earning more than you earn, but I didn't feel like a lady with them. They didn't pay attention to me. They didn't know how to talk to me. They didn't know how to touch me. And I feel like we put so much focus on the finance that we forget that there's a lot of other things that make a woman feel like a woman. So that's my take on it.
So, Cloud, here's the thing. And I'm surprised you're saying this, because the thing is, once again, we're conflating getting fucked versus getting married to. And so I don't want to mix up the women who has attention from broke dudes and is getting fucked by broke dudes versus guys who's in a serious relationship and or getting married or married to a woman that makes more money than him. What we're doing is we're saying, oh, you know what? Because I make more money than him, he's treating me like the man of the house. That's not the case. That's typically not the case, broke or otherwise, for men. What's happening is, and what she tried to say is that, oh, you know, women that make more money, or at least in that meme, women take on a masculine role when they take, but that's the case. That's what women do. And I'm not knocking them for it, because that's the way the world conditioned women to be masculine and go out for the role, that she has to strive to get that VP position. And she's battling in a field where other men that she's fighting against to get the promotion in the job and whatnot. And she's a supervisor and has, you know, 40 people up under her that she has to maintain. And I understand that. And we talk about when she gets home, does she turn that shit off? That's the argument. And that's the prevailing argument. It's not, well, you know what? I became feminine, but my man won't let me be.
You're right.
That's not, don't nobody make that fucking argument. But that's what they're talking about in this video, that men are not allowing me to be a feminine woman because I make more money than him. So he's just being relaxed. That's not the argument.
I think you're right, Shannon. Like, I do believe, again, I agree automatically, right? A lot of times, a lot of successful independent women do take on a masculine role. But I think what she's saying, a lot of the dudes with those women take on a feminine role. And I've definitely seen that. I can't sit here and act like I've never seen a dude who's with a woman who's making more money than play the bitch role. Like, that's the role they be playing.
What is the feminine role in that dynamic?
Like, I'm talking about little things. Like, for example, I've seen some high earning women be with they dude, and like dude won't even do little things like hold the door, or let's say they traveling, he won't grab a heavy bag for her. Like, I've seen dudes treat women as though they're just like men just because they're making a bag. You get what I'm saying?
And
so that's all I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm simply saying that percentage is so, like I tell people, there's three types of relationships where there's a man that's in charge and a woman that's following him. There's two people in charge, and then there's a dude that's following his woman. The one that works out is where the man is in charge. Other one typically doesn't last long, but it does happen. I get that, but it's such a small percentage that why independent end up single. I know they start off like that, but her respect for him is going to be low. If this guy is not holding the door, is it a situation? What's more prevailing? A guy that doesn't open the door because he wants her to be the man, or a woman that don't want no man to open the door for her because she's the boss?
The latter, obviously.
The latter, and that's what's the argument. But people throw in these rare, off the wall situations to try to make a point. In the argument is, no, listen. whether your man makes more or less than you, if you guys are in love, he still needs to be the man. And if he tries to be the man with a woman that is making the bag, that don't need to make no decisions with him, she's paying some of the bills or all of the bills, or she wants to make a decision that he doesn't want to make, but she's like, fuck that, I'm okay. We see the meme, we see all the little skits and little shit videos and stuff on the internet. The woman, the old bae, what was the most recent one where the woman was getting married and she was like, oh bae, we didn't talk about that in counseling, you know, and emasculated him in front of the whole family. That's what we hear. That's what we deal with. We rarely deal with the guy that's like, well, man, my woman is a man. My woman, she got shit under control, so I don't even got to really do much. That's not the case. And that's the only argument.
Look, I agree with you 100%, except for this one thing. And I just want to add, like, look, what you're saying is true. It's 100% true. But there are still a lot of cases where when a woman is competent, she's viewed as less vulnerable. And a lot of time when a woman is viewed as more vulnerable, it automatically sparks that instinct, like that save her instinct. Like there's things that you're going to do for a less competent woman that you probably might not even think to do for a more competent woman. But the problem is sometimes that more competent woman wants you to do those same things, right? So that's what I mean. Like just because there's a lot of competent women out there that can handle themselves fine. And so when you're not seeing them struggle, sometimes as a guy, you don't even think, oh, does she need help with that? Because she got it. When it's like, really, she's sitting around like, I want help. Even though she can handle it, she wants the help. So I agree with everything you're saying, but I also understand where that woman's coming from. You know?
But if a woman displays that she doesn't need help, then she doesn't need help.
I agree.
Whether he like, so the thing is like it's one of those chicken or the egg arguments. Which comes first? Is it the woman that she displays that she doesn't need help, and therefore he's like, okay, then I won't help you. Because if you keep telling me till you blue in the face, I don't need your help in this. I don't need your help. I don't need you to hold the door open for me. Of course, when you go out in public and he no longer holds the door for you, you can't then go back and say, oh man, he's starting to treat me like a masculine woman because, you know what I mean? I done took, like, no, you've been telling the nigga the whole entire time that you don't need his help.
I agree with that, right?
And then also, when we talk about the taking foot off the gas, if you live a lifestyle that is well beyond his means, he has no choice but to take his foot off the gas because he can't afford it to begin with. If we living on your household and we at your crib or whatever, and you make $190,000 a year and I make 45, there ain't shit I can do to help you.
He moved in with you.
Like if we get together, there ain't shit I can do with you. Like there ain't shit unless you come down and say, "Hey, look, you know what? I get it. You only make 40,000, so we gonna go and just live off of your 40,000." That's not realistic.
Yeah, but Sweeney, check this out, right? But look, let's say you're living off her bag, right? But it's little simple shit like this, right? But when you pull up at the gas station, does she pump her gas or do you pump the gas? Because I think that's what the lady's talking about. She's saying like you can live off her bag, but are you treating her like a woman? Like a woman still want to feel like a woman, and just because she got the bread to put the gas in the car, don't mean she don't want you to pump it. That's all I'm saying.
I would say in majority of the cases, that dude is doing all that shit, but it's not seen as masculine when he does it anymore.
And or she gets out the car when she pulls up to the pump.
It's seen as get your bitch boy ass out and pump my gas. She's no longer seeing it as a man taking care of his woman, more so than she's just looking at it as a service. She doesn't see the fact that you may rub her feet at night anymore as a man looking out for his woman. She just sees it as you servicing her because she's bringing a bag home. So she's viewing you as a bitch boy, even though you're doing things that a man would normally do for his woman. Whether she, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because I've seen that dynamic where a man takes on the role of taking care of his woman. He does all those things, but she doesn't see it that way because she's bringing home the bag. So she's saying, oh no, you better go pump my gas because I bring the bacon around this motherfucker. So get your ass out there and go pump my gas. Even though that's something we would say that a man naturally supposed to do, but that ain't how she views it. She doesn't view it as him being a man. She views it as him being a help.
I think that's true for a lot of women.
He her helpmate.
But I think that's true for a lot of women, right? So everything y'all are saying is not false, right? I'm not arguing against nothing that y'all saying, but as much as what you're saying is true, right? There are some niggas who are just like, when they see a woman doing well, they just fall back. They just look at it like, yo, she got this. I'm gonna fall back and just live good off of her efforts. And it's like what this girl in the video is essentially saying is like, the problem is not that he don't got the bag she got. The problem is that he's sitting back and not being a man, and he's not making her feel like a woman, even though she has the bag. So I
In those
understand the
scenarios-
argument from both sides.
In those
Yeah, but
scenarios,
no,
most men fall back financially. And the reason why they fall back financially
Right.
is because you literally cannot afford what the hell she's providing for herself. So you have no choice. If you with her and she's with you, you literally have no choice but to fall back because you can't afford the shit.
Yeah,
If she wants to go, go ahead, Hank.
she got to take her arm out your ass. You a goddamn puppet for her. You a goddamn puppet. What man wants to
Get over
be
there,
done like that? And that's that bullshit, man. Goddamn, you ain't no
Get your ass
goddamn
back
man
over
no
there.
more. She pulling string.
That's
And she tell your ass want to dance, you dancing. You shucking and jiving and shit. Oh hell no! What? Look here, man. I hope y'all ain't doing this. If you are, y'all some goddamn fool because you're not a band no more. You're a boy. You a child. She's taking care of you like you her grown ass child. And you just like y'all said, the service. Whenever she needs some dick, and then she probably gonna get tired of fucking you because she don't even look at you as a man no more. So now
But
she
but
knocking out a pool boy.
Hank, the argument is, what about the guys that want her to have her hand up his ass? Because she's making the money, he just relaxes. What about that guy?
He relaxing in his femininity.
Hey, again, I'm gonna say it again though, Shay.
He's
You're not
living
gonna
his
be
soft
around
life.
long.
He's living his
Yeah,
soft
the guy,
life.
what about the guy that rests in his
He in his
femininity?
soft
What
boy
about
life.
the guy that rests in his femininity?
Hey, look.
He gonna be moving on. He gonna be short term. He's gonna be he's a 6 month fix for. Soon as you realize, man, I can't do nothing with this dude.
That ain't short term.
Can't do nothing with this,
Stedman still with Oprah.
So
That ain't short term. No women keep them niggas around.
We know Stedman is a cover for Gayle King and Oprah's love affair. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
So Sweeney.
But no, that's what I'm saying. We talking about it. We talking about a man that's resting in his femininity.
No, hell no.
Hold on. Stedman is resting in his femininity, and he doesn't give a damn that Oprah's out there smashing other women. He don't care. He's sitting there chilling, enjoying them that $1 billion net worth, and he shuts the hell up. There are some men out there that will sit there and be like, hey, look, shit, hey,
I'll be damn, man.
I'm cool with my woman sitting out there making all that bread and I'm chilling.
Sweetie, how can you go home and face your boys, man, and go out with your friend?
You under the assumption these niggas got boys.
He probably can't. He probably right there beside, like you said. She right there beside him.
Credit card. He got his woman credit card.
Come on,
when they
man.
out.
He gets a goddamn allowance. Hell no, man.
Yo, guys, we got to stop
here's
equating,
the
like,
thing.
something we got to stop doing in this space is we equate dominance and finances to be the same thing. And that can be proven wrong all the time. A perfect example is a pimp. A pimp don't make no money. The hoes make all the money, but he's still the dominant one in the situation. Why? Because he treats them like females and puts them in that feminine position. So we keep having this idea that you have to be a breadwinner to be dominant, and that's not the case. That's a fallacy. That's not real. Like, that's just a YouTube talking point.
He getting treated, he getting dumped to any type of way. He probably getting dog walked every goddamn day.
Who getting dog walked? Pimps ain't getting dog walked by nobody.
No, we're talking about the dude that was getting his hands up in the girl's ass. The woman putting her hand up his ass.
Also, the woman made it about finances first. The lady in that video made it about finances first. We didn't bring that shit up. She said that shit. She said if she makes more than you, then you wind up becoming a bitch in a relationship. Nobody else mentioned that except for her. So that's why we talking about it in that way.
And
So
I think
Cloud,
that's the difference.
I think you brought up a great point there.
Yeah.
I think you brought up a good point, using the pimp analogy there, because according to the lady in the video, it sounds like to me she's saying that she's already with this man. They're already in love. They got married, whatever. And he's taking his foot off of the gas a little bit. Like, he's stepping back a little bit. Now that he's already gotten her, I'm assuming he was already doing all the little things that got him there. All the opening the doors, the bae, I got you, I'm taking care of you, the foot rubs, all the things. And he's starting to take his foot off of the acceleration because her financial responsibility or her finances and what she's earning surpasses him to a high degree, to where it's like, okay, why I gotta worry about doing this and doing that? She got it. She make twice as much as I do or 3 times as much as I do. Why I gotta focus on this financial thing or that financial thing? That's what it sounded like to me. And a lot of times, any dudes that got any kind of that's in that situation that has any kind of pride about themselves, they turn around and start doing some of the more feminine roles. They do. Like they'll sit up there, they'll start cooking more. They'll make sure the house is clean. Like if she's in the office all day long and you got time, or you work from your computer and you making a percentage of what she makes, you gonna make sure the laundry's done. You gonna make sure other things are done to kind of take that burden off of her, because she is the breadwinner, because she is bringing in that much more. Anybody's got pride about themselves, you know, that's what a lot of that seems to happen, kind of what Clout was talking about. But Sweeney, you got a good ass point too. You know, they can start looking at you like they little bitch, straight up. Like he's my little manservant, and he's doing the things I need him to do, because he better rub these feet. He better pump this gas, because I'm
those
financing
relationships
everything.
don't last.
And
She still ends up single.
It doesn't, because you talk about the woman's ego. And that's what it comes down to. Men's level of ego when we have a bunch of money and we have a woman that doesn't make anywhere as near as much. We're talking about spreading it out and starting a family and growing something. When women have a lot of money, typically, it's more of a selfish thing. It's more about, look what I can do without a man. And then when they do get a man, and it's all good, he's dicking her down good, they loving on each other, it's cool, they having fun. But at the end of the day, if it's that much of a discrepancy and anything on his end is lacking in her mind, it's a problem. And that ego is going to start getting stoked. And usually it's going to be from the outside, like her home girl.
She's so goddamn independent. She don't even want him to give him sex. She said, "You can't give me a nut like I can. You just go wash my robes for me."
AB man, I will say
that's some other stuff.
I will say this. I don't.
Shit. Man, you never deal with an independent woman like that, man. They don't. You can't do nothing.
I've dated women in my past that used to make more than me. I've dated VPs of Fortune 500 companies. I've dated lawyers. I've dated surgeons. So I mean, they made it's 300-400K. You know what I'm saying? Doing very well for themselves at that time. But I mean, my dynamics didn't change. Because they understand who run. They understood who run it, so it wasn't.
And we gave his ass hell. It was to the point he talked so bad he ended up leaving him. He said it ain't worth being around making all the money. It's not worth it. His pride was so hurt. I mean, the dude he damn near cried dealing with this heifer, man.
He ain't it. He ain't him. What's up, Sweeney?
I would say the difference is, because you mentioned something that was really important. You said that the man typically starts to take on a more feminine role, like he'll start cooking more, he'll start cleaning up more. I don't see it that way. I know when you think of a man, when you think of what men do and how we move, we understand the ideology about pulling our weight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, in his mind, he's not taking on a bitch role. He's basically saying, all right, well, shit, she's doing all of this, I'm gonna pull my weight somehow, some way. So he naturally starts to do whatever he needs to do to make sure, like, hey, look, I'm just not about to be that nigga sitting on the couch. Then I don't care about cooking, I don't care about taking on more roles in the household, because that's just me. That's my idea. Even if I do go to work and she's making all this money, I'm gonna pull my weight in a different way. So I will naturally go and be like, all right, well, shit, I think about pumping her gas a little bit more. You start thinking about your woman a lot more. But the problem is that the women don't tend to see it that way. They see it as him taking on a more feminine role rather than just trying to be, because that's the thing that we complain about. Majority of men complain about the fact that if a man goes out and he does all his work and everything, when he comes home and the house is a mess, we like, damn, can you pull your weight in a household? I'm not asking you to go out there and work. I'm just asking you to pull your weight. And I think that's how men see it, that we see that's the same thing. Like, we get frustrated about shit like that. So we look at it ourselves like, all right, if I can't make the money around this mud, then at the bare minimum, the least I can do is do this shit right here. So I don't think men have the mindset that they're trying to be a bitch in the house. They just like, man, I need to do something to pull my weight. Until I can get my money up or something like that, I'm going to do this.
That's why I said the man has any pride about himself, then he'll be doing some of that.
I believe it's all in how much a woman actually values you and what it is that she values, right? Because to some women, money weighs a lot. But what does that woman need? What does she appreciate? Does she appreciate your masculinity? Does she really want companionship? Does she just like, are you very charismatic? What is it about you that actually attracted you to, or her to you in the first place, right? And that's because sometimes, I mean, that's the one situation where you could be like, oh well, look, I'm still going to be appreciated, because money might be important to some people, but there's some women who make a good amount of money, but it's not, as long as they're living comfortable, they're not really caring about it as much as some other women who might need it more or whatever. Like some women really get to the money and don't care. Me personally, I wouldn't ever try to date somebody who's doing better than I am, because I still do believe in hypergamy. I know that is common. A lot of women, they definitely are hypergamous. It is what it is. They want somebody who's above them in social status, economic status. So you taking your chances, but of course you'd have to really pay attention during your vetting process. That's what you have to understand. What does she value? You have, just like women do their tests, we have to do our tests sometimes when we're vetting. And I don't think men vet enough, to be honest. We do more according to vetting, and that's where a lot of our problems start in the first place. So when we're in that phase, we have to see what it is that they appreciate, right? A woman's going to let you know, because they're going to treat you. Most bad relationships that we actually get in retrospect, we knew the warning signs were there in the first place. We just didn't pay attention to it, or we didn't want to. It was something that we wanted out of a relationship that we felt like we really didn't want to do without at the time. But you can tell what type of women are like that. The main thing that you need to look for when you're interested in a woman is to see how much she respects you, period. If she doesn't respect you, nothing else is going to fall into place. You're going to be in for a completely dysfunctional relationship. So you coming in, however you coming, if you're making less money, does she still respect you because of your other qualities, the other attributes that you have that make you valuable as a man? Because money is extremely important. It's going to determine where your kids go to school. It's going to determine what kind of cars you drive, if you can afford to buy that more expensive, healthier food. And it matters. It definitely matters. If she could hold it down to where y'all comfortable, that's cool. But if she needs more and you don't have it, then I think you're going to have a lot of stress on your hands.
I agree 1,000% with you, Trev. And I'll say this real fast. Yeah. The women that typically have a lot of money or are doing really well financially, they typically don't care about money when it comes to who they're looking for. When it comes to their mate, like, it's nice if you got money too, but that's not what's missing in their life. They're looking for what's missing. They're missing that masculine energy. They're missing that charisma, like you were saying. They're missing to be dick down. They're missing a lot of things. They're missing a presence. They're missing a lot of other things that money just can't do for them. But yeah, they got it. And this is the more the mature ones typically too. I mean, I'm talking, executive level, C-suite level. They're like, I know what I'm missing, and money can't buy that. Mm-hmm. You're something money can't buy. And they respect the intangibles that you bring to the table. We're not saying that you're a bum. I see Shannon looking over here. It's not that you're just out here, you're straight bummy with it. Like, you make money, you're doing your thing too, but she's just up here. She's just really, you might be making 100K. She making $500,000. She's the breadwinner. It's just what it is.
Hey, I got this chart that Sweeney sent to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this chart up. And Sweeney, you want to go ahead and get a context?
Yeah. All right. So basically, what this thing is basically describing is how much work men and women typically put in, whether it's leisure time, work time, and also the time that they spend at home. You know what I mean, taking care of the family. And what you notice is that men and women tend to spend the same amount of time working, whether that's at home or at work, right? And what you see is the reason why women tend to do more around the house is because men tend to do more work. But if you notice that regardless of what situation you're looking at, if the scales start to tip in the opposite direction, right? So if you start seeing a woman work more at work, you're gonna naturally see a man start to do more around the house if he spends more hours at home than she does. So when we have these conversations, we talk about the you know what I mean, the work-life relationship and how it's unfair. Most of the time it's really not unfair. We're all pretty much putting in the same work. It depends on how many hours you put in at work versus how many hours you put in at home. And men and women tend to put in the same hours at home and work if you combine the two.
Sean, you want to go ahead and get on this? I know you've been sitting in the
Nah,
court.
man, bro, they said a bunch of things I agree with, man, but there's so many dynamics to this, man, in terms of independent women, bro. So I think a lot of times it is that they see themselves as the prize. Some of them see themselves as the prize. You know what I'm saying? Literally the prize. And also they may perceive themselves to have more options, or they may actually have more options. You know what I'm saying? So that may make them more willing to spin off and be like, shit, I could replace Buddy ass in a minute. You know what I'm saying? I'm good out here with or without him. But at the end of the day, as a grown man, bro, you still got to drop your nuts. I don't care what she making. You got to still drop your nuts. And pardon my language, women, but she still got to be your bitch. That's what it really come down to. I don't care what the fuck she making. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to grab you by your throat. I'm going to smack you on your ass, and you still going to be my chick. You feel me? And that's what it is.
Trev, I had a question for you. I know you said you still believe.
I just want to say amen real fast. Amen, Sean.
You said you believe up in hypergamy. So hypothetically, like your wife gets a job promotion and she's making more than you. Like, what do you do in that situation?
You got to eat that one, man. I'm competitive anyway. I compete with everybody. So that just means I'm going to be out here really trying to kill it more. That's how I am, right? That's one of my, I don't know if you want to call it a character flaw or what, but I'm ultra competitive. I don't let anybody outwork me, man. I'm out here sleeping a lot of nights, 2-3 hours. I'm getting it, man. That's all I'm going to do. But if those circumstances happen where she just so happened to make more money, it's fine. Like, my wife ain't even offer like that. If she come into some money, it don't even matter, because I know I offer value personally in so many other ways, right? There's so many things. Like, I'm not going to run into many women who could sit there and take a transmission off of a car, break a computer down, or build them from scratch, or just there's a bunch of stuff that I just do that most women will never do. You know what I mean? Are you going to kill a bug? You know what I mean? Like, just certain things women want you to do, certain things. And I believe in holding your masculine frame. If women are supposed to understand, they should feel protected around you. They should feel safe around you. And, you know, whether that be emotionally, physically, you know, they want
I got
financial security too. But go ahead. What you got?
I got a better question for you, Trev. So let's say you and your wife been together, right? And she get a promotion that got her paying a ridiculous amount of money. So we saying $300,000-$400,000 a year, right? And she says, hey, look, I don't think you need to work no more, man. I think, you know what I mean, my job requires a lot of hours out of me. I need you at home more. Are you going to take on the role of being at home more?
No. That's not of my nature. No. I'm a dude who has to be on my purpose. I just told you I was sleeping like 2-3 hours a night sometimes. I can't like not be doing. I just like, I have to have a purpose, and it's not all the money for me, right? I feel like I'm for things like, to keep it real, I probably would not work my day job anymore, but I would go harder with this because I feel like there's a message that us convey to the youth, especially, right? So I can't stop. It's a mission, right? It's bigger than me. It's bigger than, you know, my family comes first, but it comes out in tears, right? There's God if you're religious, then there's you, your wife, and then you have your kids, and then your close friends, but you know what I mean? Like, you prioritize it. But I can't just jump out, man. I have to do it. I feel like I have a purpose, and I'm always going to try to fulfill it. That's just me. I'm not chilling, bro. It's bigger than the money. What?
If my girl gets a promotion, congratulations, babe. We got a promotion. Well, all right, what trip you want to go on? I mean, let's go and put some of that money in the college fund or whatever. Like, it don't change the dynamic of shit.
Listen, man, as long as she's spoiling her king with that extra bag, I ain't tripping.
One pot.
That's what I'll let my wife retire me.
Money.
Hey, Jay, I one pot, baby. It's all good.
All that's going in the pot. All that's going in the pot right here, baby.
No, that's right.
In the pot. Nah, hell nah. That's us.
Shit.
Look, I know what y'all say. Y'all
I'm
said
gonna say congratulations.
we got a promotion.
We got a
Damn
promotion.
right. Because that's what she gonna say when I get a promotion. Oh,
That
yeah,
ain't what she
baby,
gonna
you got
say.
a promotion.
Oh yeah,
We're
that's
gonna eat a little different. We're gonna eat a little
That's what
different
she's
now,
saying
baby.
all day.
women ain't gonna say that. That's her money. And she's been taught and conditioned that that's her money.
Oh no, they ain't how it go in the Hank household. It's one pot here, baby.
Well, hey, look, I'm with you, Hank. There's one pot over here. We got a promotion. Not just you. You get more clients. You make it. No, it ain't none of that. We got more clients.
And you know
Our
what? For
shop
real,
doing real
Sean,
good. Our shop's doing real good.
Our bundles is
I
flying.
think
Huh?
Sean hit that on the head when he said you
Now
gotta
we
let
can
your
open
nuts
up a
hang no
new
matter
one.
what, because I think that's one of the biggest mistakes we make as men. Like, we get intimidated by women who are making more money. I do understand that they could be problematic for sure. So you still have to be careful, but no matter what, you hold your position, man. You hold your frame, and you got to understand what your value is, and you have to know that it's more than just money.
So with that man, that a man who's okay with resting in his femininity, is he actually masculine because
No.
he's okay with doing it?
No.
He not
Look,
intimidated.
First of all,
He like,
first,
yeah, go
first
ahead,
of
make
all,
that money, sis.
First of all, how can a man rest in his femininity? That's
Hey,
not even a
It's
thing. Like, what
impossible.
we doing?
hey,
That's
if women can
that's the
rest in
first
their
problem.
if women
That's
can
the
rest
first
in their
problem.
masculinity, men can
It's
rest in their femininity.
2023. It's 2023.
I
These
can't accept
motherfuckers are
that
doing
one either.
everything now.
If women can be masculine, there's a lot of men out there that can rest in their femininity. They can rest in their soft
Well-
man era. Is that what they call it?
That's the thing.
Soft life.
They can rest in their soft life.
Hey man, all
That's the
jokes
thing.
aside, man. All jokes aside, men got to get catered to too sometimes, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to get pampered, taken care of, spoiled a little
Hell
bit.
yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't mind getting pampered. I don't mind getting pleased. I don't mind getting served. I don't mind getting taken care of every once in a while. You know what I mean? I'm not
No,
doing
man,
everything
sound-
all the damn time.
Man,
Yeah,
Clay
come
talking,
rubbing them shoulders and rubbing that feet. Them feet and
Clout-
shit. Come with that
Clout
plate.
talking like a pimp.
Come with that neck.
Not no pimp.
Yeah, you know, Clout talk. You know, he talking about that. He talking from a pimp standpoint. You know, he'll raise that ring finger real quick.
Hey man, you know, but you know,
I will pimp and
You know who I am?
do you know who I am, woman?
Bitch.
Rub my feet, bitch.
No, I'm definitely not a pimp, but I will say this. I will say that I've definitely learned a lot of my understanding about women and how to deal with women does come from pimps and the ism. So it's like I do incorporate that in my day to day, and it does seem to be effective. You know.
All right, let me go ahead and get to these super chats real quick. Shike Auto LLC. Remember, for 8 months, you got a question for the men on the panel. If you make $70K and your wife make $150K, and all the money going to one account, who will do more work, husband or wife?
Again, I think that's based off of that chart I put up. It depends on who works the most hours. It's not really about the money. It's about who works the most hours. The reality is, if one person is at home more than the other, you ain't got no choice but to pick up the slack. Otherwise, your home will fall apart. That's the reality of it. If one of you is at home more, you're going to have to pick up more of the home slack than the other person, because if you don't, then the house doesn't get clean, the food doesn't get made, the kids don't get fed, the kids don't get put to bed on time, they don't get dropped off at school like they supposed to. One of y'all got to bite the bullet.
Can we make something clear real fast? The number on that bank account or on that check doesn't mean one person works harder than the other. Let's get that straight. Just because he makes 70K, she make 150, don't mean she out there working harder. That means that is what the role is paying for. For her to do some PR stuff or whatever is paying 150. For her to be on her computer is paying 150. You got some folks in here that's truck driver. You got some folks that's working on cars out there in the heat, busting their ass all day, making 70. That she ain't worked nowhere near as hard as he did. Now she might have to sit in a few more meetings than he did, but he's over here moving transmissions and shit like that, moving whole trucks out there, you know, building real estate and out there with the builders and stuff, being a project manager and stuff in 100-degree heat. Like, that's not the same. It's not the same. The numbers are different, but that don't mean one person's working harder than the other at all.
Odds are that person making $170 is working less. Odds are they're working less hard than the person making 70.
No doubt.
And that's the thing that a lot of, and I noticed this about a lot of people too, is even then, like even when you start counting hours, context matters. So if you with a man and y'all both work 8 hours a day, but your 8 hours is in an office and his 8 hours is outside cutting, you know what I mean, pushing, you know what I mean, like you said, pushing freight and stuff like that. Y'all have a different dynamic at home because he's more likely to come home way more tired than you are because his job is more physically taxing. But the thing that we get wrong in a lot of relationships is that people tend to look at what they do and discount what the other person is contributing. So they would look at it and say, well, I do. He ain't doing enough, but you're not taking into the account that, hey, he may be working a more physically taxing job than you are. That's why it's natural for you to take on more responsibility at the house, because he comes home and he needs more rest than you. He may come home and need more food than you. He comes home and he ain't got, you know what I mean? Travel time might play a factor.
Or another thing is that one person's an entrepreneur, another person's working a 9 to 5. I mean, the hours are so different. Like, yes, your hours are set. You clock in, clock out, 9, 5, you're out, hour for lunch, and you're done. After that 5 o'clock hits, you're not thinking about work. You're not dealing with work. You ain't got shit to do with work until you clock back in at 9 o'clock the next day. Him, on the other hand, he's an entrepreneur. He's out here hustling. He's out here, you know, putting on shows. He's out here creating businesses. You know, he might work a 12-hour, 18-hour, 20-hour day. You just never know. You know, he's out here creating content. He's out here just creating things. You know, and some days it might look like it's a little slower, and the other days his ass is everywhere, you know, barely at the house or barely getting sleep. You know, those aren't weighed the same either. So we have to be mindful of that as well.
All right. Got a couple more super chats. Andrew Dale, $5 says maybe she's been in a lesser role and didn't like it, so she reversed it to be in the power position. A man can feel femininity if she's humble, you know. Andrew Dale again, ask her to do something and see how she reacts. And John the Baptist said leadership is not about money earned. Thank everybody that has contributed to the platform tonight. Much love and much appreciated. How y'all doing, gentlemen? Y'all good? Anybody want to say anything on final thoughts? John the Baptist again says we live in a patriarchal system, and the system men lead. In this system men lead. All right, with that being said, let's make sure we support the brothers on the panel. We had a couple of them had to leave a little bit earlier, but make sure we follow everybody on their YouTube channels. B Madden is one of those celebrities, man. You might ride past one of his billboards out there. Just make sure you go ahead and support him. And Hank, you got any shows this week, man?
Yeah, I got one tomorrow. I'm gonna do just a reaction on some shit I seen on social media. But next Wednesday or next Monday, I got a fantasy football special show on Monday, and on that following Wednesday, I got a show I'm doing with Embrace of Grace. We're doing about one pot. So yeah.
Okay. That one pot, man. I never forget that, man. Every time I hear somebody say anything about one pot, I think about Hank, man. That's why I heard it first. So right on, bro. Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm gonna get you a shirt, man.
I know that's right. Hey, Jay, I'll make sure that fist is black, man.
Oh yeah. I'll make sure it's not light skin, man.
Light skin is always in, bro.
It's gonna be a dark fist. It's gonna be like one of those suspect shirts you see. Like, is that a black figure?
Damn.
Yeah. All right, it's getting late, folks, man. I know I'll be trying to keep y'all here too late. Appreciate everybody. The like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel on your way out. Thank you, gentlemen, for your perspective tonight. And this King talking. We out.
Take care.